I'm gonna do hardware multi-stream. It's the current plan. Oh, I
I
guess.
tried to, but it like took too much resources and it was laggy. So
Oh yeah.
I'm on my laptop here, so it's not very good for streaming.
Yeah. I gotta say, streaming is hard. It's really hard.
But
Okay.
my desktop is good for that.
Yeah.
So
Good. Okay. Live.
I have to go
Um,
back to the LAN party days and bring my desktop with me.
I am literally just using three phones. So my phone, my other one, and the other one. So that's cool. And then let's see. Saturday morning security.
I haven't heard from Comrade yet today.
Oh yeah.
He'd probably be there.
I think he said he was not
Oh,
or
really?
was. Yeah. Um, three, two, one. And then we go live. Okay. Hello everyone. I'm live with CJ. We're just sort of getting started. So, come on in. Come hang out. It's a
Have
little
a
early.
cookie.
Have a cookie. Get yourself some coffee. And I'm gonna try to go live on Instagram on my other phone. Okay, how do I go live on Instagram? Oh, live. Boom. Haha. Saturday morning security.
I decided to shell out for the like multi-stream thing, but now that I paid for it, it doesn't work. So,
Of course.
but theoretically, it should be great if I can get it to work correctly.
It's true. Yeah, it would be pretty good. Okay. All right. Oh no, I need to flip my camera around. Checking connection. Okay. Let me split that around. Okay, cool. Yeah. So the least slick way that I know to stream is definitely just literally pointing a phone at my screen. So, and then I think on Streamlabs, I'm gonna go live on YouTube. So if you wanna see just you know, sorry, I'm trying to make this bigger. Yeah, there we go. As big as it gets. If you want to see us on YouTube, I think I'll see that chat more, but I'm gonna try to periodically take a look. So, hello everyone, thanks for coming. We're gonna talk about a lot of different stuff. Let's see. Gonna go ahead and stream to all those other ones. Oh, not streaming to X. Okay, confirm and go live. So,
How do you
uh,
put your like the graphics that you have in front of you?
hmm, the ones like
Oh, it's
these ones.
behind you.
Yeah.
Wait, so it's like a background with a transparency?
It's I have this camera. It's an Opal camera. They gave me
Uh,
one because I have a friend who works there. And so like it's a thing called Opal Composer and it lets you put on
oh,
and I think it's a fork of OBS. Um so, you know.
huh.
Oh, I do love some you know, where is it? No, I'm trying to get this
And
one
then you're
up.
using Streamlabs too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yep.
like a OBS on top of OBS.
Yeah,
That's
it's
great.
great. Yeah.
Sea turtles all the way down.
Yeah. It's like OBS with the networking features stripped out. It is like super Fisher Price, but it's like more than Zoom gives you.
Hmm.
So when I'm in Zoom, I seem more cool. So
Oh.
yeah, it really makes the Zoom thing happen. Um, yeah. Do we know if anybody else is gonna join?
Theoretically, Comrade is.
In theory. So I know a lot of people are they join, I think there's a lot of folks on Instagram that follow me for security stuff, but I've been talking about AI lately,
Yeah.
mostly because I feel like there's just all these claims and things like that. And I get these stuff in my comments so much. So I thought I would just do a big analysis of like, what is it that people dislike AI for? Because it's very super divisive in such a way that like me and CJ also are like, why is this so divisive? Because it was never that divisive before. But I think it was like the generative AI art that was really the thing that kicked it off for most people.
Which is so weird to me, especially because like it's people who identify as being on the left and they're like out here shilling for Disney. And it's like,
Yeah.
why are you so
Yeah,
pro private property all of a sudden? Like
I
what?
know. And
I,
like rent seeking on ideas and stuff like that. Like it used to
uh-huh.
be like, yay, piracy, like I thought we were all pro piracy, like, music piracy. I mean, the kids today, they don't maybe do the mu music piracy as much as we did it when we were kids. I mean, not that we did it, I'm just saying generationally that that's something that people did who were my age.
Yeah.
So,
I think also it's definitely different on the different platforms.
yeah.
Especially like Redbook is basically 100% anti-AI.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. No, that one is very anti-AI. And I'm like, hello, I'm here to, I mean, be an appreciator of like Chinese AI researchers because they be bringing it to the field, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm leaving it all on the field and that they publish their research. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they don't like the AI, the generative AI stuff. So it's like AI art is theft is like the main that was a number two comment after environmentalism. So we
Hmm.
already did like a 3 hour live stream on that one, so I don't wanna I'm
Yeah.
tired of it.
I saw you saw the or you liked the one about the sewage treatment water. And it's like you guys.
You guys, like this is literally reverse osmosising it into the environment. Like, what do you mean? Like
Yeah.
that's what you would want to do with the sewage water. Like you would have to generate heat on purpose, waste heat for no reason
Yeah.
to get that to happen.
The other thing that's really interesting to me is like coming from like the environmental justice perspective in urban planning. Um, Freshwater is considered a scarce resource, right?
Hmm.
And
Yes.
anything that causes it to become salinated is defined as consumption. So like
Right.
in ur
Yes.
in urban planning, if it, like when you treat sewage, it becomes fresh water again. It's
Yeah.
not it's not consumed, right? Like it
Right.
becomes useful. It's drinkable. Like that the definition
Hmm.
of treated is like you could drink it, right? There's
Hmm.
this whole tertiary standard of right, but like letting it go into the ocean is what's bad, right? But like
Right.
evaporating is good because it continues to precipitate. So it's interesting. Also, I feel like that there's this sort of like group of people who's wants to be mad about it and doesn't really know any of the terminology or the
Yeah. These are not like urban planning scientists that are mad about it.
yeah, because they know that it's a trivial use. Like it's like
Right.
almost nothing.
It's almost nothing. And
Almonds
also
are
so much worse.
like
Alfalfa, you
half.
said.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. I have unfortunately almond milk in my coffee. I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah. I don't know.
I think like also the cheeseburger argument is great, where it's
Yeah.
like, are you vegan? Because if not, like
Yeah.
that's way worse than using AI
Yeah.
for water.
Yeah. Also, the largest consumer of data centers is not AI, is the other thing. It's cryptocurrency. It's cryptocurrency. It's always been cryptocurrency all along. The villain was always capitalism all along. Kara Swisher says this.
Did she say that?
She says it all the time. It's great.
Uh,
Yeah. I don't love everybody but like she's great. She's funny. Um,
I'm sad that she moved away.
yeah. Oh, she did. Yeah, I don't keep super close track of her, but like,
She's living in Castro. Now she's in DC.
oh yeah, well, it's close to the action. Yeah. I don't
She
know.
got tired of voting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a big burden. It's a lot of homework, honestly. Right.
That's so wild that people in DC don't get to vote.
Yeah, that seems egregious. But also, it's like where the politics happen. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know if it would be a meaningful thing statistically, but it does seem like disenfranchisement, which I am against in general. So,
It seems like they could be like Maryland voters or something, you know.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's true. Um, yeah, I don't know. So, I guess if Comrade's not coming, and Axe is out, so, uh,
We should say just for today. He'll be
just
back.
for today. Yeah. Everybody's got life stuff, everybody's moving and things like that, so we got Burning Man stuff to do. I don't know. I'm building a library in the desert. It'll be fun.
Oh,
So,
are you?
yeah. Yeah, it'll be cool. And we're gonna do a ballet. Oh, well, I'm not doing the ballet performance. I will help light it a little bit.
Oh,
But that's my contribution to the thing. But they're gonna do like this 45 performer and like 35 musicians are gonna do an orchestral ballet performance of The Great Turning, set to the Romeo and Juliet by Pro Pros Proscoips. Like I don't I did a video on it. But yeah, it'd be cool. It's
oh.
like just like a mass spasm of despair. I don't know, on the playa. It'll be great. Yay!
What's the library component?
Oh, it's a giant library that we were gonna bring a bunch of books and then put them on shelves, and then also some of the books will be alive and they will tell stories. We
Oh,
collected stories from the community um
who's
about
we?
healings. The Midnight Collect or sorry, the Moonlight Collective. I just started to hang
Oh,
out with them and
oh, oh
do
yeah, I
the
saw that.
fire songs. Yeah, it's cool. Yeah,
Is
I've
that
just
a
been doing
ply
a lot of
installation?
LED art. Huh?
Is it a ply installation or like a camp?
Yeah, it'll be a playa installation, but it's gonna go. We're not burning a library down. We're gonna bring it off the playa and probably put it somewhere in some sort of public thing. So
That's
yeah,
cool.
yeah. I'm excited. It'll be a public art installation later, but it'll debut at the playa, so it'll have that dusty smell forever. It'll be
Yeah.
nice.
So
Baking soda.
I learned something interesting.
Mm?
Um, I for example, I have like a Steam Deck, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I really want to be able to play my Factorio server that's at home,
Oh,
but I really don't want like my home IP to be like on my
yeah,
DNS or something because then everyone will know where I live.
yeah.
Um, and I discovered that you can use providers like Proton as a proxy server.
Oh,
So
yeah.
you
Yeah,
can
you can do
put
that.
like a WireGuard connection up to Proton from home and then
Mm-hmm.
up to Proton from devices and
Mm-hmm.
connect across without exposing your IP.
Ah, that's great. I use a cloud. I just have a server that I ran from Google Cloud for my Factorio server. So,
Oh,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Me and
it needs
Andy
a
play
lot
on
of
there.
resources though.
It does, and I don't care because it's a I we're at the robot stage, the flying robot stage, and it's covered most of like a huge portion of the map, and we're going into space, so we need the beefiness. So I'll just pay $30. It's okay.
Are you doing the space age or
Yeah,
the?
the space age.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm already on all the planets and
Oh,
uh,
you are?
yeah,
I've been slowly going planet by planet, but we did race to the space age.
I
We did
did.
space race and then now slow exploration. So,
Yeah, I did like all of the initial planets, and then I added all the like mod planets. So
oh
now
my gosh.
I want to like kind
Mod.
of optimize the basic ones to get more. I haven't done any of the like quality yet,
Oh yeah.
so I want to like.
Dyson Sphere Project is like this game completed. You can go to a bunch of stars and build Dyson spheres around them, but you start
Mhm.
off on like one planet just with a pickaxe, mine, and coal, So it's great.
The
But
Dyson Sphere game.
Yeah, it's called Dyson Sphere Project, and
Is it
it's
the
a
one on Steam?
yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah.
it's been on my
It's so
wish
good.
list forever.
So good, y'all. It's if you're a Factorio nerd like me, which many of us are, if you're on my algorithm, you're probably deep in your heart a Factorio nerd. It has trains. It has trains in it.
And
It's
robots and
trains
logic.
and robots.
Yeah.
My
I also
favorite.
have never gotten into like circuits on there either.
Oh yeah. They're you need them to stop your trains from crashing. So you'll get into them.
I mean, you can
But
use the
I had to
signals.
watch a YouTube tutorial about it.
Yeah. I use the train signals, but
Yeah.
um like one of the things that's really hard for the spaceships is controlling the speed of it because if you go too fast then it'll be overwhelmed by like debris before you can
Yeah.
deal with it. So you need to be able to control the speed and that's like not possible without circuits. So
Oh yeah, that's true.
I just like delete some of the engines and then it's like slowing down. I did like a lot like a bunch of these like giant like Soviet style nuclear powered like very slow but like enormous spaceships that travel back like on a big loop.
Oh man.
And that works, but it's like there's probably a better solution than that. And it's really
Yeah.
slow.
Yeah. Me and Andy DeRossi, that the race car rally guy with the factory and the robot arms. We were like, well, we got to play Factorio this winter, and so we got into Factorio, started playing. And there was this great story of like we had another friend, Adam, who's like a lights and LED guy and stuff that we hang out with, that helped us get the arms, and so we were like, you have to come play
Oh
Factorio
yeah,
with us, since we're playing it in real life. And so,
right.
we started playing. Adam builds this beautiful, perfect cathedral factory with like separated cells and like runs, like concrete and like, all the bells and whistles, and it takes forever, and there's like not a lot of stuff in it, and he's like mining stone, but at scale immediately, right? But he's got a lot of stone, but not a lot else is going on. And then me and Andy, chaos race and build a spaghetti mess. But we get to space in like, I don't know, 8 playing time hours. Like we just like
Oh wow.
crash to space like
Yeah.
super fast. But it's a spaghetti mess. And then we
Yeah.
race to robots, right? Immediately. But so then the spaghetti mess doesn't work, or it doesn't matter. And then we
Yeah.
slowly start refactoring out and spreading out, right? And then meanwhile, we still got like a really high scale of stone coming in from Adam's Stone Manufactory, but it's like this cathedral to make like just stone. And we were like, okay, well, we're gonna R&D to space.
Yeah.
And I was like, there's so much richness to this story about startups and business and starting a thing and organizing and like
Oh.
everything about R&D. There's just like so
Yeah.
many rich moments of learning from that like video game story that I love. So, I don't know. I love strategy games. They help you play with the dynamics of these things that are complicated and you can't just read a book about.
Yeah. Yeah, my first playthrough with Space Age, I didn't watch any tutorials or videos or like I had like zero concept of what to expect. And I wanted to like beat all of it like
No help and no reference materials. You didn't have the wiki open.
yeah, I think for me that's like a good way
I
of
need
like
the
learning a
docs.
new thing. And
Uh-huh.
and then I'll do it again, but I'll like do everything and it's like, oh okay, well wow. This could have been 99% easier, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
there's so many things in retrospect that I just didn't occur to me, but it's like I was doing it way more complicated than I needed to. Have you been to other planets yet?
I've crashed on other planets, but that's kind of how far we got. And then I started like going and doing other things.
I didn't
Um,
realize you can drop stuff. So like you drop yourself and then you have to like build enough to be able to get back out, right? But
Cornpops.
it never occurred to me that you could drop things that you need. So I'm
Yeah,
like starting from
trying
scratch
to
on this new
rebuild
planet.
on every single planet, colonize every planet, like
Yeah.
from like Rimworld style settlers. Like,
Yeah.
you gotta
And
like every time you land on a planet, you gotta like pause the game, go play RimWorld for like 16 hours, then come back and be like, that's who.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
It's like, oh wow, that seems obvious now.
Yeah, yeah.
Having nukes makes Vulcanus so much easier. Like, because 3 or 4 nukes will take out any of those worms.
We're talking about Factorio. People are asking, what game is this? We're talking about Factorio.
Uh
Um, yeah, it's nerd like drugs straight to the vein, just like,
huh.
oh man. It's like for spreadsheet nerds, like you get sucked into it and then you're just like, what am I? Oh, yeah, I have a life and things are happening and like, oh man, but those that gets me through the winter. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like that episode of Portlandia where they watch Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
They're like, well, I got fired. Anyways, next episode.
Anyways, who cares? Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. All right. We got some folks on different ones. We got like 20 people. Um, I don't know. We were gonna talk about AI art. You wanna? I don't know. Kinda, I guess. Cornpop was on. I thought I saw at least.
Oh, really? Does he want
Yeah,
to join?
says invite the real Cornpop to join as a guest. You wanna join our
But
thing?
let's invite him to join the Zoom.
Yeah, and text him. I feel like I have you on some sort of group chat somewhere, but who knows? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I was uh I was thinking about this a little bit beforehand. And I don't know. I think there's like some cool nuanced arguments we can make. I think Corn Pop would be actually a great person to be in here. Be a foil, be like, hey, you know, ask some good questions. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah,
He's
somebody was
like,
like,
join. He's like, join what?
we're chatting on the internet. Come on. I can click invite.
But that will only be on yours.
Oh yeah, I know. I clicked invite mostly just to ping him, but yeah,
His
yeah, I
stuff has
played.
been good. Like
Huh?
he's been getting really good traction lately.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he's talking about. I think a lot of people also want to hear about like security, cybersecurity, and stuff like that. Because I mean, there's a real situation going on. Like, I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing every day some sort of deep, egregious like breaking down of, and I kind of wish somebody, I don't know. It's very difficult to know how to like actually make an impact. ICE officers are quitting. They're seeing people are very upset. They don't want to be targeted, right? And it's
Social
like,
consequences for my actions. What?
oh my gosh, it's not fair,
There
you
was
know.
also one uh, officer who
It's a good book as an
uh
in an unrelated. I'm just saying, it's interesting.
there was one
But
ICE officer that got shot by his own son.
what?
Yeah,
Jeez.
14.
Well, I mean, what? Did his son see him doing something that was like,
They're not really giving details.
yeah,
Obviously,
okay, I guess that's
it's like
true.
they're under 18,
It
so
doesn't seem like that doesn't seem like a heroism thing. That seems like maybe a super bad family dynamic.
could be. I mean, I would, right?
It's true. Yeah, I
If
don't
I was a
know.
teenager and my dad was doing that, why not?
Yeah. And you saw what you saw on any any feed anywhere, except for the main stream, I guess, lately. I don't know.
You know
They're
what's
talking
funny
about it,
though?
but
I
they're
was
not.
I was
Mhm.
talking to uh, a politician recently about like new media and old media, and they were like talking about like getting ideas onto MSNBC or like CNN, and I'm like, I regularly have more daily viewers than MSNBC or CNN,
Yeah, frankly. Yeah.
and I'm
No,
not
I
even that
mean,
big.
yeah, new, old media is not as big as it seemed like it was, right?
Not anymore.
Yeah, no, exactly. Um, Somebody said, how isolated slash secure can an AI model be? Yeah, you can run it locally. I did a video recently. CJ does a lot of videos about how do you run stuff locally. You can run it completely air-gapped if you want, offline. You could download it to a thumb drive, move it to your computer, take the network card out of the PC, you know. Yeah,
My
like Zoom has like
my
a
focus
weird
is.
post process they're on also. Yeah, mine is also off. I don't know. Is there like a setting in here? Anyway, I don't
It's the camera, I think. Oh, there it's perfect. Okay.
know. Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, Cornpop, what's up? Hey, pretty good. Do you want to come be in our Zoom? We're just chatting about uh the state of the world and uh Sure, here, let me go to my computer. I'll be right back. Yeah, great, awesome. All right.
I'll
Cornpop's coming on. Dope. Awesome.
I'll
Yay.
send him the
Lovely. Um, yeah, just checking chats, see if there's any good stuff. Yay, thanks. I'm glad people like it. Um, any good references for 50-year-olds getting into it? Depends on what it is. I have a lot of free stuff on my website, free courses and stuff. And I would say the like whatever, learn to code, learn whatever the hell on my website. Those links are good. They're free.
another
Uh,
thing that I did that sort of like raw dogging intro to was agents after our last conversation. And so I was looking through a bunch of the frameworks and like um trying to get them running in a notebook,
mhm,
and got like I kind of figured it out, and then I went through all like the tutorials and stuff to see like how you actually supposed to do it. And like some of it, like the AutoGen in particular, Microsoft published so many notebooks of examples of like all these different things you can do with them, where it's like
mhm,
it's kind of wild.
yeah.
Did you see the
Oh,
OpenAI thing?
which thing?
Like yesterday, they published. It's called
No.
OpenAI Agents,
Oh,
and they're claiming
uh,
that they're like now the top on the HLE and the ArcAGI and everything.
okay. Interesting. Interesting. Let's look at this.
It's not very good. Cornpop did a
Oh,
video about it actually, which is why I asked. He didn't.
uh,
He thought it was very underwhelming.
okay.
I've been on the
Well,
preview for it. The preview
I've been
is.
using their agents framework. It's a great agents framework.
Oh yeah.
Just like most agents frameworks. I mean, they're fine. Also, you kind of don't want to use one. I don't know.
I
But
really like that it suggests here's four suggestions for approaches that the agents could take, and then it's like, well,
yeah.
actually change it to this other one, and it's like,
Oh.
okay, so and then you
Oh, I haven't
like
tried this. Yeah.
it's
This is like
I like
Codex.
that. Codex, yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Are you on Codex?
No, I use Cloud Code a lot. I use Cloud Code. I have like the max subscription because I use it so much.
Uh-huh. I'm like
Uh,
always at the Codex limit of like my API limit.
yeah, yeah, nice, yeah, yeah. Once you have an agentic coder in your terminal, you're just like, oh no, I can pursue all of my ADD interests.
Uh-huh.
Oh no,
I
and
have
then
like
you're just
four of them going at once.
yes, yes, yes. You as an engineer, you have what I call task constipation, because there's a trillion things that you want to do, data analysis you want to do, frameworks you want to build, projects you want to deploy, little things you want to make, right? And you don't have the time to finish them all or do them all. You're just never going to have that time. And so you just have these tasks and they're just in there, just waiting to be done. And you're like, I know this would be a good idea and it's low hanging fruit and I could do it, but there's like 10,000 other things I could do. And it's just not the most one that I could do. And so suddenly you can do
Yeah.
so many more things. And
To me,
it's
it's like
just like,
having a time turner It's like if I could do the afternoon over and do another thing, what would I do? And it's like I could have
Yes.
AI do
Yes.
that.
Oh my God, it's like a time turner. Yeah. This is why I'm like, hey, leftists, listen, don't sleep on this AI stuff because like what if you had access to some data that you wanted to do the data analysis and maybe you didn't know exactly how to do the data analysis? You could probably talk through it with an AI model,
Yeah.
right? Tell it to look things up. Ask it about that data analysis. Ask if there's, other things that it could do. Just keep asking questions. That kind of critical analysis, I've seen a lot of people use that to explore data in a way that like they would
Yeah.
never be equipped to explore it before or like have the time, even if you are equipped to explore it, it takes there's so many little details.
Like
It
that
takes
thing when I sent you the notebook about the ticketing,
yeah.
I was like, that was wild. Like
Yeah.
I still don't exactly understand how you did that.
Oh yeah. I mean like I've done like agentic simulations before for like game theory analysis, like to see like okay, if these agents choose this and this thing and like, and so I knew about that stuff. But then yeah, I don't know. I was like, "Can we use an agentic simulation?" And it was like, "Yeah, we can." And it just wrote it and I was like, "Great.
Yeah.
Now here's this."
Hello,
Yeah.
Cornpop.
Hey, Cornball.
Hey,
What's up?
hey guys, how we doing today?
Pretty good. How are you? We're just
You know,
touching.
I'm doing okay. I'm currently embroiled in a very long in my DMs debate with a dude who I don't really think wants to listen to me,
Yeah.
which is okay.
Oh,
Um,
Yeah.
I have been yes I'm sure that maybe some of y'all have seen that like I've been the subject of quite a lot of videos recently on the online left, which has not been the best, I would say.
Oh, no, I
Um,
haven't. Yeah, catch me up on the controversy.
I mean, to make it very short, so as to not totally derail what you and CJ were talking about. I made a video where I said that people should condition their votes to Democrats on Democrats' willingness to embrace a policy of abolishing ICE and promising Medicare for all.
Hmm.
And then I had a lot of people who were like, "Great, the leftists are here to fuck over the elections, and the midterms haven't even begun." And then I made a point where I was like, "It's not really harm reduction if Democrats go from saying." Oh, well, ICE got $150 billion, so we'll just let them keep 70 of it. It's like
Yeah.
we still
Yeah.
moved right in that
Yeah,
regard
the
then. Like,
Overton window move was achieved. So
yeah,
let's push the Overton window. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, and most people are for that. There's broad bipartisan support in the base about
yeah,
that. It's
yeah.
just
yeah.
not at the top about that. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, the subject of what I'm debating with this guy of is he's like, oh, well, you should clarify what you mean. It's like in the primaries, and I was like, well, I mean, like I do mean in the primaries, but also this is kind of where the conversation ended before I got in here. I was like, listen, man, like there has to be red lines for the general too. It's like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
if there is if there's if a Democrat is running as a moderate and
It
their
just
moderate position is they're actually running on policies that would be more synonymous with like what Marco Rubio ran for in 2016, then like that's not really a moderate Democrat, right? It's moderate against Trump because Trump might literally be proposing the kill everyone now sort of agenda.
yeah.
But like if what a Democrat proposes is like actually what if we only kill like 10% of the population super brutally and immediately and then we kill 30% of the population later in a very slow
And
way. It's
with
like
gender equity
Yeah,
in
but
the
with gender
victims.
equity,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're like, no, that's not better, actually. No.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yes. And it's
Um,
so I was telling this person, I was like, there certainly like if the choice in 2028 for a general election was between like a 2008 style Obama kind of figure and Trump, yeah, sure. Even though I don't like agree with everything that person's gonna say, yeah, I would tell my audience to go fucking vote for them. Sure. If
yeah,
they like, especially if they're people who like really believe in the ability of electoralism to like do the job, right? Yes, then I think that you should get out and use it as a tool in your tool belt alongside of doing other things, right? Um, but no, like if a Democrat runs in 2028 and they're like, oh well, we're gonna give some like tax breaks to like small business owners who are first generation college students, and then everyone else can kind of like just eat rocks. Then
yeah.
like I don't know, it's like yeah, I guess that
Like
like for
Kamala
that
did.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's
I
like
mean, that's how we lost is
Yeah.
fascism versus fascism light. Why would
yeah.
you? you know?
I think too, like
Yeah.
there's like such a limited historical understanding on the part of like almost everyone today that like ICE is like brand new, and like the idea of citizenship is like brand new, and these are not things that are in the Constitution. These are not things that were normal 25 years ago, you know.
Yeah. Well, I think that like the one conversation I had with a colleague of mine that I think actually the both of you would find very interesting, especially because I know CJ, I know you're in the Bay Area. Future, are you in the Bay Area too?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So as I'm sure you guys know, because I spend some time out in the Bay Area here and there, and like it's a very awesome place. But like some of the people there are fucking weird, like very very strange, very detached from reality, and it's great.
Oh yeah, this
Nancy
is
Yeah, yeah,
very
Pelosi.
yeah,
this is
yeah.
a
Now here's the thing
yeah.
though. One of the things that I do not respect, the conversation I was having with my colleague centered around this point, which is like I do not respect the right for elevating anybody like Peter Thiel, right? Because
Yeah.
like Peter Thiel is like an eccentric weirdo who genuinely is detached from humanity. Like
Oh yeah, no.
he does
Yeah.
not want the same things as like
Yeah.
basically anybody but a small collection of maybe like 5,000 people on Earth wants.
He
And he
definitely does not consider himself to be part of us. Like
yeah yeah
when he did that interview and he's like, should humanity survive?
yeah
And he was like, because
Well,
he's like
yeah
thinking, yeah, humanity, those people,
yeah
not
yeah yeah
us,
not us yes
not
yes.
me and me also. No, that's not,
Well,
he like just,
yeah. Well, so the reason I bring him up though is that like I do not respect the right for like elevating these people or anything like that. But what I can do is I can recognize what a person like Peter Thiel or his cohort are, which is they are the specter of imagination, right? Like they propose such a wild deviation from what people would otherwise be able to predict in their own sort of like beltway imagination, that
right.
anything that is not what they have said, right, suddenly seems achievable, right? If Peter Thiel is over here saying, I want to upload my consciousness into a cloud, I want to hang out with people like Brian Johnson and inject my son's blood into me to make me 18 years younger, right? And
Yes.
that sounds
Yeah.
fucking weird, right? Well, then Trump coming over here and being like, what if we gave tax breaks to billionaires suddenly seems very real, right? Because it's not this weird sci-fi kind of like Lex Luthor style villainy, right? But
Yes.
what I argue is, and what my colleague and I were speaking about was that like the left has no version of this at all. Now, I want to make sure is I'm very clear here. What I am not saying, I'm not saying that we need someone over here who's like
Mao.
Maoism. Yeah, yeah. However, but like this is actually kind of part of the problem is that like the left's like
So
biggest
extreme.
visionaries are people who are like, oh, let's like the left's biggest visionaries are dead ass people in the United States right now who are like, or at least the American lefts are, where they're like, did you know that in the 1950s the top marginal tax rate was 92%? We should get back to that. Like it's not even imagination, right? It's just
Yeah.
recollection.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I think that it's weird because what this means is that like we have now capped ourselves at a sort of like almost revisionist lens of like, oh, what we need to do is like revisionist, not saying trying to change the past, but more so trying to like return to it, right? Like we
Right.
literally
We've
like
adopted
our
a conservative stance,
yeah.
right?
Um,
Like
but like what I
conserve
want,
norms,
yeah,
conserve how
yeah,
things are currently structured, and also
yes.
go back to this. And it's like, it's
Go
this
back to glory,
go
right?
back to the glory days.
Yeah.
They want to make America great again, but it's like a different time period that they want to go to.
But like
It's the
what
same
I
thing.
what I want
It's
though is like
Reagan. They want Reagan.
They went Reagan
yeah.
instead of,
Democrats have become the party of Reagan.
Yes,
100%.
but like
yeah,
what I want though on the American left is like I want us to have a set of visionaries in a way where they are advocating for like weird shit. Like I want someone to come out and like have the stance of like comp trans. I want comp trans. You know, something crazy where like it like the party has to look at that and contend with it and realize like yeah, that sort of that side of the aisle isn't going to go away. You know what I mean? Like, so we have to at least like try to moderate against that because the current left is like so easily beaten in America because they benchmark themselves against things that like have already been done and
yeah.
like they suggest that it's like that's political impossibility, right? And it's like no, like the right they're over here really like sitting down with people who are just like actually like humanity's best foot forward is gonna be where we try to become not human, like. You know, we need some kind of like ratcheting force that just
It's
it doesn't exist
weird.
here. It's
Yeah,
weird.
well, and there's like this weird like mix of like hyper gender norms plus a technological progressivism
Yeah.
that then the left has recently abandoned. And it's super recent. Like when Obama got big, it was because Obama would meme and stuff.
Yeah.
Like literally they won on being the party of memes, right? And then the right was like, "Oh, memes do it." And so now and like I mean, memes are like a super important element to both of these parties, but the left abandoned the memosphere recently. And I think honestly it is because of psychological warfare from the right to be like, you don't like these computers. They're bad actually, and they
Yeah.
hurt the environment, and they're bad. And this is where I'm like, there's a I don't know. I don't mean to get into like too
No,
much
it's
of
all
a
good.
conspiracy brain, but it seems like there's been a lot of operations on the left around like abandoning the tools that won us the Obama years, right?
Yeah.
And so, like, to convince the left that you can't do change with technology, no, that's impossible. Only abandoning technology and all these cool tools would be the only thing that would make you safe, really. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, and
I
It,
kind of
it,
feel like too though, like the reason that there isn't an optimism in terms of progress on the left is because like the material facts of reality today are that for every existential threat to human civilization and human survival, the first, second, and third derivatives are all moving in the wrong direction. Like it's not just
yes.
getting worse, it's getting worse
it works
faster,
faster.
and the speed at which it's getting faster is getting faster, and like
Yeah.
there are 10 of them,
Derivatives are rate of change, just so anyone who's not a math nerd,
but like
Yeah.
every single one of those things will cause human extinction. And like,
Yes.
I think like people who are sufficiently well informed on these these details, it becomes
hmm
really difficult to have like any kind of optimism. And so for me, like I found that one of the most compelling stories that gets people on board has been like the back to the land story, has been like the like let's go build a garden somewhere that we can like survive on,
hmm
Yeah.
through what's coming. Like at this point, like let them have it. Like it's gonna burn down with them inside, and like that'll be the end of their story. We're not gonna talk them out of it. And I think that that's like a lot of the most engaged and energetic people have have taken that route.
hmm
Yeah, so a little while ago, I think it was almost about maybe like 8 or 9 months ago now, I wrote a piece on my Substack that was titled "The Long Defeat," and the long defeat is like not a concept I came up with by any means. Like technically, I think actually like Tolkien came up with it. But I think it's very, very important for people to at least contend with a little bit because what it suggests is that like in a state where your enemies have like every single upper hand, like the best thing you can do literally is to accept like some people who are your allies are not going to make it out with you and you may not either. But what you can do though is you can make it extremely fucking hard for them to keep winning.
Yeah.
It's not so much about like this approach of, oh, I want to strive towards utopia. It's more so just recognizing that, like, yeah, man, like the people who have all the power and all the resources, like they are trying to like rat fuck you into death. You know what I mean? So
They're
you
trying
got,
to, yeah,
yeah,
they're doing psychological operations on you, and you have to understand and evaluate the effectiveness of any idea that you absorb, right?
yeah,
And what does it really mean for you? And what does it mean for you to actually change, right? Like, I mean, the part of the reason why I harp on the anti-AI shit so much, despite being like focused on all of this like other stuff, is that it seems like an op that people don't recognize, right? To sort of slow people down. And the same thing happened and poisoned a lot of people over on the right against stuff like healthcare
yeah,
or like a lot of the things that are things that they asked for originally and always wanted, right? And they want to make it easier for stuff like people to have families. And it's like, okay, cool. Why don't you provide for people who have families by giving them benefits for doing so instead of, I don't know, taking all their money and not letting them have a house? Like, what do you mean? It does not
mhm,
seem like you're pro the things you say you are, but it's because they sort of poison pilled a lot of these ideas. They're really effective at poison pilling ideas,
How do
right?
yeah.
how do you guys feel then about like the James Carville argument and the
What is
cynical
his argument?
I
he,
don't know that
when Trump won, he was like, Democrats need to literally like sit down, say nothing, do nothing until the midterms. And like
Oh, I
they're
mean,
gonna fuck
yeah.
themselves into a corner and like they're gonna keep digging and they're gonna be so far down in a hole of like Epstein and canceling Medicaid,
Bullshit.
like killing 20 million of their own voters by the time the midterms come around that like people will vote for anything else, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think that in terms of
Like
that as
let things
this,
get bad.
yeah, I mean, well, a couple things about that, I guess. One is I think that is what the Democrats are doing right now. I think that
Yeah.
they do. I think they definitely have the posture of like we don't need to do anything. Republicans had their cake, let them eat it. Um,
Hmm.
and I think that unfortunately, I think James Carville is right. I just think it's also
Cold.
I think it's cold, but I also think it's slightly humorous because effectively it's an accelerationist stance,
Yeah.
right? It's this
Yes.
idea of like, oh
Everyone's an
well,
accelerationist now.
yeah, well,
Even
it's
if you
just
don't
it,
want to be, even if you don't fundamentally agree with the concept, it's like, oh, well, the derivative is too, and you're like,
yeah,
I can't. There's
yeah,
nothing else. It's like, there's no like, you can't just put some sticks in the ground and then an avalanche won't crush them. It
yeah.
doesn't
I
matter.
I would say,
Accelerate
CJ,
because you got
that
to outrun the avalanche,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like,
I would say that in terms of this though, where I think that Carbill's argument falls apart is that that only works if your opposition, in this case, like our opposition, Republicans and fascism, it only works if your opposition is going to allow you to ever retake power. Like
yeah,
it does not work though if your opposition is already very far down the pipeline of trying to remove controls that would ever see to it that they lose their seats of governance, right? Like this is kind of the issue I have with the entirety of the old guard, just kind of like hemming and hawing and sort of pretending as though it's just a matter of like winning over hearts and minds, like in some kind of fair race. When it's like, no, dude, Republicans are like very clearly already angling to either like not have midterms in a serious way or to have a midterm in the way that like Russia has elections, where like it's kind of already pre-decided what happens. Um,
yeah.
and so I think though that if the midterms are able to happen in a free and fair way, then yeah, I would say unfortunately, like Carville's probably right. Like Democrats could probably run on literally anything, even the most cynical thing they could run on, which is being explicitly the party of we are not Republicans and that's all. And
Also,
that very
I
well
mean,
might win them.
I think that is totally a wrong view. The idea that it is possible that there could not be midterms or that they could in any realistic way alter the outcome
Mhm.
intentionally, because the reality is like elections are not real in this country. We don't actually have elections. We have polling that's done at the
Hmm.
state level, and then the states send their
Their
proportional
Yeah,
number of
representatives, yeah, their
delegates to
delegates.
vote on behalf of the
yeah,
state. But the reality
Right.
is like when you look at like the fight that's happening right now between Abbott and Newsom, where Texas is saying like, oh, we want to redistrict to get rid of
mhm.
the few like three remaining Democratic Congress
Yeah,
people. Newsom is like, we're gonna do double that, right? Like California
yeah,
has this very fair electoral map where there's like a
yeah,
lot of Republicans in Congress,
yeah,
and they
yeah,
don't they don't have to do that. They could decide to get rid of all the Republicans in Congress, and
yeah,
they're going to be able to get rid of a lot more Republicans than Texas is going to be able to get rid of Democrats in
yeah,
Congress. And so now a lot of other blue states are saying the same thing. And the thing that's odd today is that in terms of how elections actually work, we have Democratic states that
yeah,
are fair. They have Republican seats, right? But they don't have to. And um, those are the seats that actually vote. So
yeah,
they could just get rid of all of them. I mean, Democrats could choose to end minoritarian rule, because the reality is there aren't as many Republicans, and they have power only because the majority allows them to, and they could just simply stop doing that. And that is something that they could easily do. And like
Hmm.
elections are not under the control of the federal government. The
yeah,
Constitution gives all control over presidential elections to states. States
Hmm.
are
mhm.
the ones in control of that, and majority of those the majority of those states are controlled by Democrats who could just remove all those Republican electoral votes easily. And now they're
Why I
talking about
want
doing it.
why I wonder then, CJ, if you don't consider that like, and this is not to reduce your argument by any means, but it's just like I view it as the people in the executive branch like don't care. Like I don't think they have any problem with like the absolute end game scenario of just being like, okay, well, like we're taking over like in these few states where we think that's a real issue. Like, okay, we'll just go and fucking like take over
Like
the
what
elections then.
they like
Like,
they
They
sort of
can't.
weirdly deployed people to California. But here's the thing is they're doing the most they can now.
I think that's
And
also that's also not true though. Like if the eschaton, if like the final judgment of God is coming any
yeah,
minute now,
yeah,
what is that moment? Because the reality is you have five groups that hate each other in this
yeah,
current right-wing regime, and now they're all
yep,
splitting up and starting competing political parties and like kicking out their like Marjorie
yeah,
Taylor Greene is siding with the Democrats, like everything is falling apart, and you have like I don't know if you guys have seen like all of the doctors and nurses and stuff talking on TikTok in the last couple of days about like this diagnosis that they released is certainly not true of like
yeah.
why of what's going
Yes, I
on
have
with
seen
him.
that.
He
of what
definitely has
going on with who?
they're saying that the White House says that Trump has venous insufficiency disorder, which is definitely not correct. The symptoms that he has and the way it's being treated suggest that the only thing he could possibly have is congestive heart failure, and like they're saying it's not terminal, and doctors and nurses like the
Yeah,
consensus is like he's about to die. And so like
yeah,
when he does, there's nothing holding them together, and it's going to be a scramble for like who's going to like are we still getting pardons for all of this shit that we did for him. And like
yeah,
JD Vance is owned by Peter Thiel. He
Yeah,
does not
yes,
give,
that's he doesn't have any unity ability though. Yeah, the
but also
yeah.
pardon is
he's not going
fully
to pardon
fractured.
them, and
Yeah.
You
he's going to totally
you don't think
reverse.
so?
No, no, because
No,
Why? Why?
because
Why
he
don't you think so?
he
the
gave
threat goes away.
before he picked him to be VP,
Yep.
he gave this whole speech about how Trump is fucking Hitler.
Yeah,
JD Vance
Yeah.
did, right? Like
yeah,
he is playing a character right now on behalf of Peter Thiel
yeah.
in
And
exchange for
Trump.
an enormous amount of money from
Mhm.
Chamath and Peter Thiel and
Yeah.
David Sachs. And
Yeah,
like as soon as he goes, it's going to be this radical shift immediately, and all of the unity that they have is gone. And I think you're going to see them embrace more populist policies and stop all of this stuff that they gave, like all these early initiatives, right, of like doing mass deportations and stuff. That's enormously unpopular with business. It's enormously unpopular with everyone except for Stephen Miller.
yeah,
And you're going to
yeah,
see
yeah.
people
It's
like
so
Stephen Miller out of power. And I'm not saying this will be better, but I'm saying like
Yeah.
radical change is about to happen. And like these people are not, they are behaving, I think, it's like this mass hysteria where they like got a few groups of psychopaths to work together long enough to get into office, and then it all started falling apart. And like it's easy to see them as this united front, but like they all hate each other, and the only thing that they all have in common is that they agreed to delegate like their thinking and their decisions to this like dying king, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Who seems to have advanced dementia and not be aware of what's going on and like have maybe weeks or months to live at this
yeah,
point. I really I, I think it's easy to see it as worse than that, but I think that's what's actually happening.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, I can definitely see where you're coming from, CJ. I think that where it sticks for me though is that the actors that got people like JD Vance into power and the actors who got really all of the like far right, people in Congress into power, especially in the last election, like they in their desires, they don't go away when Trump dies.
Totally.
Right.
right.
All that it means is that now they actually have one person who, or maybe a group of people who they can entrust that their will will be carried out with without the lack of focus and lack of rigor that Trump does propose, right? Because like Trump is a very undisciplined person. He doesn't really give a shit about anything, and he doesn't really try to work very hard for anything. This is kind of like the one thing that's defined now
Yeah.
both of his administrations so far.
Yeah.
And JD Vance, though, much younger, much more willing to do whatever the fuck Peter Thiel wants, right? He doesn't have Trump standing in his way. He'll just do whatever the fuck Peter Thiel wants,
But the thing
right?
is, like, Peter is not a genius. Peter is a
Right,
fucking
right.
idiot. And like
Yes.
this has been his stated goal. Like this has
He
been
has
his
money. and he has a smartness brand because of technology. So there are
Yes.
a lot of smart people around him that sort of, and that's like the other thing about Elon Musk is like essentially they're creations of their PR department. They were
Yes.
ambassadors for smart. They represented the icon of smart.
But they're
And so
dumb.
smart people went
Yeah.
there. And then smart people were so into them and they went and they got jobs at whatever the company
Yeah.
was and then they were like, "Oh no, they're dumb."
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're
Well,
like the
okay,
dogs
but
that
I now
caught
I
the
work at the
car.
place and so they don't care, and so it's like
Yeah.
you kind of bought in at that point and so,
Yeah.
But it's like
and it's
Peter gave that speech a while ago where he's like, we can use technology to like steal control of society and like force everyone to do what
Yes.
we want. And
yes.
I think in many ways, like these are like these like weird sort of like incel figures who are like the dog that caught the car, and now they're like,
Yes.
uh-oh, like
Now what do we
it's all
do?
too real now. Everybody fucking hates us now,
Right.
and it's just not gonna work. I mean,
So, so
like,
are you saying that your position is that people like Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and like the techno oligarchs that sort of enabled the far right to like really have their big victory lap, that like once Trump is out of the picture and can't act as a sort of like lightning rod for all the hate, and like once the worst sort of like maleficent actors of his administration suddenly are like left flailing, that the techno oligarchs will kind of like have to take a moderating position because they won't have any like real protection in the press anymore from like the worst impulses of the government. They'll like literally have to just like disappear, let JD Vance do his thing, and then like things will kind of like simmer out because of that,
I think they are terrified.
of Trump dying.
They are terrified of whatever is about to happen, even if they get everything they want.
Why? Why do you think that?
Because, like, there's a lot that I can't say.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's hard.
Do you suppose that, and this is conjecture on my end, do you suppose that people like Mark Zuckerberg, people like Peter Thiel, they know that there is like just enough of the population who is aware of who they are and what they do and like why they do it, that once Trump and his government collapses, especially post his death, I mean his death will be like a watershed moment for like all of American culture forever. We all know that. But once that kind of disappears, assuming that there is no real figure who can rise up and catch the falling crystal ball, that then once that ball like shatters on the floor and there
Right.
is truly like no government anymore, that the people who are aware of what these techno oligarchs did will like turn their ire to them and be like, okay, like time for you all to
They already
time
are.
time.
They already are.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're mad.
there's a
The
very
list. The
well
list is on
organized.
fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Totally, yeah. But even
Yeah.
beyond that, like if you just look at like the impact that they're having, like that austerity is having on the material conditions of people's lives,
Yes.
like the average wait time for a Muni bus today versus a year
Yeah.
ago,
Yeah,
or
and
like
where?
the second and third order effects of the budget cuts that are going towards handouts to rich people, and
Those are gonna be drastic. That's gonna show up in preschool classrooms like in a minute.
and
Oh
the
yeah.
It's
tariffs,
bad.
and like there's so many things in the pipeline that are so bad that are just only their fault, that are major unforced errors that they have committed over and over. And there are really, really well organized groups working on agitprop to explain and to inform people. And some of it we've already seen really, really clear changes in sentiment related to this kind of like strategic comms work that's going on around like informing people about what's happening and whose fault it is. You see, like for example, you'll see whole comment sections today where it's like all the things that you would want them to say. It's connecting, especially for young people, in a way that it doesn't for old people because of the recent discovery of fetal alcohol syndrome and lead poisoning in children, right? Like the older people who are on the far right who have those ideas don't connect things the same way that young people do. And so there's
Hmm.
all this evidence now about like
Yeah, the lead.
historically people turn further right the older they get. But that's not
Right.
true anymore. Now that we
No.
don't have
Right.
those
Leaded
cognitive.
gasoline. Literally leaded gasoline, y'all.
Well,
Like,
I don't know, man. There's a whole generation of young people who got hooked on vapes that we now know were like
true.
fucking pull like
They're also
shooting
full of
lead.
lead.
Yeah. yeah, shooting
Yeah,
lead into them. So I mean, it remains to be seen whether or not the lead
But the
poisoning will actually.
sentiments, the
Yeah,
sentiments,
yeah,
it's not just lead poisoning, it's a lot of stuff. But
it's true.
but the sentiments are trending in the opposite direction for young people today because their material conditions. Like
totally,
fundamentally that's what it is. And
totally
Yeah.
agree.
even like Nick Fuentes is like out there talking about like Trump is a scam, he lied to us, like
Yes.
going full
Well,
anti
yeah.
MAGA.
And
I
everybody's turned against him. I mean, the
yeah,
Epstein list was a big deal for a lot
yeah.
of people.
That's exactly
It
what I was
was
going to
a
bring up.
really, really big deal for most of the right. They they really thought that it was run by the people whomst are bad, and so they were really excited to get to find out for sure that the people whomst are bad are bad.
Yes,
Turns out, and I think if, JD Vance does become the next president through whatever means occur through health reasons or whatever, um, I think that that will come out at that point, and
But
then you will have
but
a
also consider
bifurcation that will stop some huge number of people from waking up and be like, oh, they just said it's the martyrdom will happen. And then there will be conspiracy theories about what really happened and how it was stopped. And then it was turned on the person who said they would reveal it all. Oh, well, there was probably some secret machinations behind the scenes. Like, that's the thing about conspiracy is you can't prove them wrong ever. You
yeah.
can never prove them wrong. It doesn't matter how like how wild they are. You can't prove that the earth isn't hollow, and you can't prove that I don't know, we're
but
not in the simulation. It's just,
Yeah.
it's a
consider
lot of
the
non-falsifiable stuff.
consider what will happen if even without any of the maybes. A year from now, the midterms will be over, and the new Congress no one thinks the Republicans are going to control it, right?
Hmm.
They're going to start doing trials, they're going to start doing impeachments. If something happens to Trump or not, there's no way he's
Hmm.
surviving this term politically. And if they remove him and um, Vance, Hakeem Jeffries becomes president fundamentally.
Yeah.
And so like that could like easily happen within a year. You could have President Hakeem Jeffries.
Ah, well then we are truly fucked. Jesus.
True.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like I
It's
mean I
pretty
think
far
that
bad.
that is not even far fetched, right? Like
No, sure, sure. I definitely agree with both of you though in one way, which is that like the Epstein files, I think, will be looked back on as like the single biggest unforced error in American history outside of Nixon lying about Watergate. Like
Well,
I'd
because
say
let's
that
it
focus on that.
the tariffs might outweigh that in the long run.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's just well, I'm actually like just talking about like true like acute political pain that like just did not need to be felt in like within the course of like 1 year because
Hmm.
like Trump
Yeah.
didn't need at all to say anything about the Epstein files being
Well,
released.
well,
Like
he knew it was a trove of very bad information. That's why he couldn't stop talking about it because he knew what was in them.
the
The same thing
absolute
with the
yeah.
dementia. He couldn't stop talking about it because he had dementia.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the absolute weirdest thing for me in understanding just how badly Trump fucked up here is that if you go onto conservative message boards, if you go onto r/conservative, or if you even like go into the comment sections of conservative influencers on Instagram and TikTok who talk about the Epstein files, there's a guy on Instagram named DC Drano. He has like 2 million followers on there. He's a real piece of work. And that guy, he railed about the Epstein files forever. He was not like a straight up QAnon person, but like he was certainly Q adjacent in a way.
Yeah.
Um, you go into his comments though, man, and it's crazy because like it's full of people who are all saying the same things. I don't care whose name is in it, release the files. I don't
Yeah.
care. I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
Democrats, Republicans, release the
Don't want to
files.
know.
And it's because, of course, like Trump and his media ecosystem, they activated their base with straight dopamine around this frothing, bloodthirsty image of shellacking people who
Yeah.
were
Right.
caught with kids, right?
Yeah.
And like they constantly said that it's not a left or right thing. It's about doing the right thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like and they have inoculated their base into that position now because the base's position now is not one of like Trump. Like I think it's
Yeah.
very funny. Like Trump is Teflon Don for everything, except for the most damaging thing there is currently, or at least this remains to
Right.
be seen, which is the idea that like he behaved inappropriately with kids. I would say the real thing, but I know we're on your live.
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is why he's so
And
fixated on it.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
But
Yeah.
because it's like he knows that there's
He knows
one
it's the worst
thing,
thing.
the one thing that actually could potentially stick to him, which
Hmm.
is supposedly, and this is actually where I
It's the fork to his Teflon.
yes, and this is actually where I have my own sort of like conspiratorial views in a way because like I don't know if I believe Tucker Carlson when he says like, oh, Jeffrey Epstein was a foreign agent, but I will say I think the arguments in favor of that are actually very substantial, and are very hard for me to get away
It
from.
seems
And
obviously true to me.
yeah, and it's very interesting because Trump is just such a moron that he embroiled himself with this dude who like everybody around that guy clearly
you
knew
you
was
know
there to
actually
like go ahead.
so like it's not even like that story. Yes, also like all of these like online marketplaces for things like that are
Yeah,
operated by intelligence agencies. Like the FBI operated the
Yeah.
world's largest one for a long time in order to catch
yeah,
people doing transactions, but those transactions were real. So
yeah,
like they
Right.
were actually doing all that stuff, but the
Yes.
yeah,
FBI was using it as a way to like honeypot people who
Honeypot.
wanted to buy stuff,
yeah,
Yes.
and not people who are selling stuff, right? Because they wanted more
yeah,
people to come in and buy stuff. So it's like buy
Right.
bust where you're running like the CIA runs the cartels and like
yeah,
they're arresting people for buying stuff from them, you know.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
So
Which
like
is not
the U.S. does
entrapment.
that. We know that the U.S. does that.
They've
It's
yeah,
been
it's
doing
it's
that.
public news that the U.S. does that. So it's not,
Yeah.
especially with like her dad literally being a Mossad agent, right? Like
yes,
it's not surprising at
yes.
all. Obviously they're doing it
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just it's really crazy to me that like Trump decided to hitch his wagon to a conspiratorial movement that arose out of Pizzagate, and then he
Uh,
kept plumbing the well of like we are going to attack all of these child predators. And
Yeah.
then now the moment he has like the so-called like golden opportunity to catapult the names out there. You know, and this is what I
He's
also
like,
find crazy.
don't worry about it so much. Y'all are
I'm
still on that? Yeah.
like I'm blown away that his first instinct was to start denying the existence of these things or to start saying that he couldn't release them because like clearly his government is willing to engage in subterfuge of information. Like they easily could release literally all of the names that are just politically like inconvenient to them and then just be like, yep, that's the names, like that's it.
It's
And
the,
dude, his
if they
the
face
were
crack.
basically
smarter, they
It's
would
the
do
crack
that.
in the dam for a
yeah,
lot of people. It's the crack
yeah.
in the dam for so many.
Exactly, and like
Yeah.
his base would eat that shit up, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
instead, and you know, throw a couple of bones in a way of like, oh yeah, like here are some people I've called rhinos in the past who are on the list too. You know what I mean? Like you don't have to act if you're trying to actually like just get it to go away. You don't actually have to release all the names. You just have to
Yeah,
like
you could
release
just
something.
release some
You
part of the
know?
names. If you're gonna edit the videos, edit the list and release the list. Like
Yeah,
what are you
Yeah.
doing
So
pretending there's no list? That's
s-
just so it's just so dementia
yeah.
not in control of your actions,
Somebody
right?
in
Like
yeah,
somebody in my
you
comments
don't
said who's dad. So Ghislaine Maxwell's dad was literally
oh
a Mossad agent. So like
yeah,
the madam's dad was literally a member of Mossad.
yeah,
And that's not controversial. He also previously worked for the CIA. He also previously worked for the British Secret Service, and this is why Hassan is constantly talking about like there's going to be a day soon
mhm.
because she's talking about she wants to testify before Congress,
She's happy to do it.
and
Yeah. I wonder
Hassan's
why.
like there's going to be a day soon when she's going to get really sad and something's going to happen, guaranteed. Like, they're not going to let her testify. It's like zero chance because
Yeah.
she's the spider in the web of all of that they
Well,
don't
yeah,
want
I
coming out.
wonder what that security situation is like, geez, like as a thing. It's
But
uh
this is like 0% conspiracy theory. These are like
yeah. These
not
are things that are
controversial
happening
facts.
in the world, right? Like these are the things in the news. It's so weird. It feels like a conspiracy theory, but because it's a conspiracy, but it's like it's a really big, obvious one with a lot of leaks. That's sort of the other thing is if you kind of look into this and you scratch any surface anywhere, you're like, oh. all this doesn't make sense. Oh,
Yeah.
there's a bunch of data out there. Hacktivists have gotten involved in this kind of whole thing. And so like in the real world when a real conspiracy happens, people talk about it and it gets out there and it
Yeah.
just comes out. That's the problem with conspiracy theories. If it's like a conspiracy theory that's been a secret for 500 years, it's not real because that's not how secrets work. Information wants to be free, you see.
Yeah.
And so, and it wants to, ideas want to spread. And like,
Have
so I
have you
think,
ever been like at work or something and there's like a rule that you're supposed to follow, but you and like a colleague have like some deeper story that you share that allows you to step outside the rules of work and
hmm
like we're be gay do crime for a second and we're gonna like not follow the rules together.
yep.
This is like this fundamental thing in co-cultural communication theory that like these deeper stories people will fall back on. And that's
hmm
exactly how they screwed themselves with this topic because it's like they had this deeper story of like protect kids and it's like
Right.
everybody agrees with that.
Yeah.
But then it's
And
like,
like,
well, the one that needs to be protected from is actually you, right?
yeah.
Uh, the
Yeah.
people that you brought into this mindset go from being like, yeah, let's do it to being like, oh, it's you, let's
Yeah.
immediately switch sides, right? And that it
Right.
shouldn't be surprising to anybody that's like studied communication theory. That,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
Or
know,
like
absolutely.
dealt with kids. Let me tell you, this is something like as a teacher, I like taught kindergarten, and like watched people develop a relationship with the rules, but I also taught university and design, like try to break people out of their rules and like on both sides of the situation, like people have the hardware to have a private story that makes this thing okay, even though a larger group of people have agreed it is not okay, right? And that's a lot of I mean, being queer was that for a long time. So it's just like there's a lot of that, in a lot of different uh groups, and that's like what allows them to persist, you know. It also makes counterculture completely impossible to fully get rid of.
Yeah, that's that. The concept of
Sorry, quote,
counterculture.
quote, mind virus. Not that
Yeah,
easy.
yeah. Well, like the concept of counterculture is one that I'm like very interested in talking about with y'all. Maybe I'll talk about it with you guys another time because I have to go here in a minute. But like,
Yeah.
I'm only bringing it up now because like I have been trying to write this piece on Substack forever, but I keep getting tripped up in my own draft about it. Where I really want to ask like, is there a counterculture anymore? Like, is there such a thing as counterculture? Is counterculture even possible when you have like
No
extreme
agreement.
atomization through algorithms? Like, is it possible to have a counterculture? I don't actually know because like I would argue that the last true like counterculture that we experienced in the United States was like I guess you can make two arguments. Like one is the counterculture of like anti-Bush, anti-Iraq war. Like I think that
Totally.
that was like a very genuine cultural force that like really
That
permeated the
was
entire
fascinating.
2000s. Um, but like
Unified.
I mean, I would say that I'm actually sympathetic to the idea. The strongest idea of counterculture that's present today is the pro-Palestine movement, because it is like pervasive through the arts. It's pervasive through industry now.
hmm
Politicians are like losing their entire ass, like trying to kind of both sides of it when it's clear like you
hmm
can't really do that anymore.
hmm
Like students are, of course. Coming of age in a time where like they're basically being told ignore your eyes, ignore your ears, like just do what the
Yeah.
party wants,
Yeah.
and they're rebelling against it. But I think that that's the only example I can say. But like, I still don't necessarily know if I would classify that as like the counterculture as opposed to like just a countercultural movement or like an insurgent, countercultural movement. I don't know. But
I think there's an
I
easy
mean,
answer.
go ahead.
Fractal dimension. Like
yeah,
if you have like a very
Cambrian explosion.
yeah, if you have like a ubiquitous discourse, there will be this is like Marxist crisis theory. If you have a prevailing force, there will always be a countervailing force,
hmm
and they will sort of like take turns being on top until there's some crisis that allows one of them to sort of fall over, and then that becomes
Yeah,
the new prevailing force. But the difference today is that like divide it in half, right? And then there's you see smaller pieces against each other, and then divide that in half, divide that in half. And so
yeah,
fractal dimension is the degree to which these self-similar structures in society will emerge at different levels. And
hmm
so you might have way more information today, way more access to communication today. You have way more subgroups today, And each of them has prevailing and countervailing forces, probably more than one, different issues,
Right.
different perspectives. So the difference today is that like we have way more information, we have way more access to each other, and there is so much more going on, and there are so many more people than ever before. So it's just
Yeah.
kind of it is, but it's everywhere. It's everything all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
People
absolutely.
were always really complicated and multifaceted. It's just that we couldn't really convey that at such a high scale. It was just this side, that side most of the time. But
Yeah,
now we have the space for it.
And
yeah.
also like
On that,
the total amount of attention that is available today to be given to things is so
yes.
much higher than when there were fewer people with more work and less free time and
Absolutely. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. This is why I've said before on my channel, I'll say here for you guys too, which is that there's only a couple of kinds of job titles or company titles that you tell me you work for where I would immediately stop talking to you. I would like not even entertain arguing with you at that point. And like one of them for me is like DraftKings or FanDuel because I view it as like the ultimate zenith of people trying to like skull fuck your attention because they have it down to a science of who exactly is going to put the most money into it. They know it's like young men who often are not college educated, and they know that
Good
they
bag.
need people to feel rage over losing to like keep pouring money into the system,
Hmm.
and it just makes people
what is that?
so. Oh, FanDuel and DraftKings, they're like sports betting apps.
Hmm. Yeah,
Oh,
full on betting.
Yes, yes,
Full on
and
betting.
yeah. But unfortunately, guys, I must go. Thank you for having me on,
All right,
though.
go.
I
Yeah.
always appreciate
Lovely
it.
to see you. Yeah.
Yes,
next
always
time.
appreciate it. Thanks, guys.
Always.
Yeah.
See you.
Love
Yeah.
him. He's great.
Yeah. Yeah. This is great.
There's so many nice people on here, you know.
Yeah. I love the internet friends I have made from shit posting
Yeah.
about technology, like
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. It's been strange and
yeah.
good. It's a long
Yeah.
strange road from where we started.
Yeah, exactly. Learned a lot of things about, well, you know what is the hardest thing is managing getting to do all the things that I want to do. Because when you start collaborating with a lot of people, it's like a million little things that you could do, and like there's so much fun stuff, and it's hard to fit it all in.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I don't know.
I guess Comrade is not coming.
Yeah, no, Conrad's out, I think. I think they're moving from the East Coast to the West Coast.
Oh, like
So,
today?
like, yeah, or like that's why they were out for like a little bit, and then Axe had also some other stuff doing. So,
Uh,
I also like I feel like we're all on like cybersecurity TikTok as well as AI TikTok, and so like there's like this confluence of needs and like confluence of like people coming in asking specific things of us, and I feel like sometimes when we talk about the AI thing, we lose the security people, and when we talk about security, we lose the AI people, and I'm like they're
yeah.
all the same. I don't know. There's a reason you see a lot of people involved in both is because they're all kind of related to the same things, right? Like,
Yeah.
so I
I
don't
just
know.
got a bunch of interesting questions today.
Yeah, yeah. What questions do y'all have?
Um,
I think
a lot of
my
people were talking
guess.
about like these new singularitarian arguments.
Let's see. Why can't you tell us what you can't tell us? Can you say? No, I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to.
Oh, the I mean, you don't need to know. You'll find out later.
Yeah, you will. You'll find out.
Stuff's getting put together.
Oh yeah, that there is some secret stuff. Yeah.
I
What
can talk about there's an exciting thing happening next week. Um
oh yeah, what's
we're gonna
happening next
start doing a weekly Wednesday night roundtable live stream about
week? Yeah.
current events from the perspective of the Bay Area.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's called The Bay This Week, and um, we are not 100% on exactly who all is going to be a part of it yet, but it's definitely going to be at least me and San Francisco and Mama Ganoush and
When are you doing that?
possibly a couple other people. Hopefully it's going to be at Queer AF, but we're not totally 100% sure
Or no, I
exactly
mean
yet.
when you
Oh,
mean
Wednesday. Wednesdays from 7 to 9.
7 to 9? Oh yeah, yeah. Nice, nice.
And
Okay,
then still trying
that's
to
cool.
recruit more people. But
Well,
the thing that's
maybe I could
hard,
drop by. I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm open 7 to 9. That's the thing. Not always, but sometimes, yeah.
One of the things that's been hard with organizing, especially this, or anything where it's like, um,
Like a Dungeons and Dragons game. Nobody can meet up every week.
it's not that, it's the people have jobs and like, you know, they're nervous to be extremely visible talking about current events right now,
True.
which like
Yes.
I get it, but also like you're kind
They're
of doing
scared.
their work for them, right? If you're not.
Yeah, don't sell silence, but I
Yeah,
get why people are scared. I mean, it's hard to say like, "Hey, take the risk," because sometimes people have, it's not just them taking the risk, it's their family then, or like they're like they're here on a visa or something like that. I mean, like,
totally.
a lot of my former students won't take a risk and won't go to a thing, and I'm like, yes, please, because y'all are immigrants, so don't. Actually, let us handle it. You just do what you need to do. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think a lot of that is a real concern.
But there's a lot of scary stuff going on in the Bay right now that is not even being talked about. And so,
Yes.
like the mayor is openly committing like crimes.
Mm-hmm.
Like there's a person, Lefty Leah, who did a post. So like essentially the mayor, there was this report that came out. The mayor is illegally giving private information about people in San Francisco to the regime and not doing anything to protect people from them and not doing anything to like de-escalate even
Yeah.
and talking like there was that like very I don't I this is the talking about this topic is what got me banned from TikTok. So I'm gonna like be
Be,
very
yeah, be
vague
careful
here.
with the words specifically. I think it is automated, you
Yeah,
know.
they like there's no way to even say it. They did something that's like really wild with to like a whole
Are
bunch of people.
folks who are
Uh,
objecting.
yeah, just like right through. And
Yeah,
the mayor made a video later that day talking about how Labubu is coming back,
right,
is opening a store
right.
in
Yeah,
Union
I
Square.
saw that. I was like, this is wild. This is wild. I mean,
And then it came out that he's like made some kind of secret deal with them, and he's like illegally giving them all this information of how to
mm-hmm,
target people, and
mm-hmm.
um, that's a crime here, right? And so it's like, why isn't
Yeah,
he in jail? And there's actually the city has a special website for reporting violations of this law, and so Lefty Leah is encouraging people to go and submit complaints that like the mayor is violating this law and like he
but
should be
yeah,
arrested.
compromising people's identity. Yeah. Also, if you're a California resident, I mean, your data is protected and like it can be subpoenaed, but if it's not being subpoenaed, you're not allowed to just give it over, right? Subpoenas are a different thing than due course like de facto data analysis, right? And
Yeah,
like section 702B of like I think it was if you look on the EFF website, there's like a recent kind of victory of like if the if they've collected data on you because you're affiliated with someone else, they often would just keep that data around, and then if they like wanted to look at it at any time, they would look at it without warrant. And that is an improper access of your data, even though it's just like saved on their hard drive, it's still your data they captured. And so to look at it without a warrant is a warrantless search with no authorization, right? But that's essentially what's happening when, like the data is turned over by the mayor, that is not, it's a civil, it's a civil crime, not something that even a judge is authorizing, broad level access to, right? And so, like, without any specific suspicion, handing over this data is not, it's not in compliance with all the California's like data policies and things like
Or
that.
the city.
Or the city, right.
Yeah.
These are also still, unfortunately, civil penalties, but they're extremely costly civil penalties. And so, like, as an administration, you can't just systematically do this thing just because the tech companies are systematically doing it. It doesn't mean you also get to do it. Like, two wrongs do not make a right. That's not how that works. But also, the other thing is it kind of undermines the law, right? Like just it's a de facto problem and not a du jour problem. And so,
Yeah.
not du jour, du juris. I don't remember the term. Do something, but de facto do something. Yeah, I don't remember. Is it jur? Anyway,
I don't know what you're trying to
no,
say.
du jour is of the day, right? Like
Yeah.
of the now. And so the other one is like for the law, so it's de juris. I don't know. Somebody
Oh.
knows. Something knows. Anybody? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like the massive scrape of national PII by Doge in the first half of the year. Yeah, exactly. And like Palantir has all this data and they're just like, are you gonna just mysteriously lose the access logs? All that kind of stuff. So, I don't know.
That's another really good example of like something that they're not going to be able to like pardon their way out of. Like that was
Right.
illegal.
Yeah. It
And
just
like
was.
all the money, all the revenue, all of the dividends that Palantir is doing are ill-gotten gains, right? Like
Yeah, they're
those are all in
ill-gotten
service of a crime.
crime gains, yeah. It's organized crime. When people get together and they have a private story about why this thing is okay, and it's against the rules, and the rules are the laws, not like the contest rules, that's called organized crime.
Yeah.
And so, that's what's happening. I'll say it. I'm not afraid of saying that. That is organized crime.
Yeah.
And so to conspire together to flout the laws, that's what's going on. That's what that's called.
And then when you
Um,
look at like who are the largest investors in these
yeah,
specific examples of organized crime, you know,
yeah,
it's Peter.
yeah, yeah. But it'll take a while. It'll take a while for us to, it took a long time for us to prosecute the January 6th crew.
Yeah.
It took a whole presidency to get that to happen, and then it all got pardoned. So,
But I think these will become compelling arguments for, especially like I think like most incumbent Democrats are essentially like law and order Reaganites, and like this is the kind of argument that I think they might make.
like, yeah.
Yeah,
But that might be the only way to, to get involved, get them to like respond well. I don't know what's the word here that I'm looking for. Get them to act, like motivate them. So
and we're gonna start seeing that as we approach the midterms. They're gonna start making these like really aggressive arguments for like what we
these
need
are
to
bad.
do.
Yeah. But I mean, they've kind of captured the full judicial, so like I don't know. They're like
Maybe.
law and order Democrats. It's like just like the Democrats to side with a power that's on the decline.
But again, I
Um,
like when Trump dies, that's gonna change because like those
yeah,
people are loyal to him, and like there are these huge factions in the right that hate each other,
it's true.
and so like
But is
those
that because they're the dominant power? Like,
no like the tech fash hates the Christian
yeah,
nationalists, and the
they
Christian
do. They've never
nationalists
been
hate the
friends.
tech fash, and the like
Yeah,
like half of the congressional Republicans are in neither of those camps. Like a lot of them
right.
are older, like they were
Yeah,
Bush people. And so it's like
true.
they're not into either of those things. They're just kind of along for the ride and they don't want to lose their seat to one of them, you know. So they're doing whatever they say. But
Yeah,
like when the king is dead, like all bets are off.
right. It's all gonna sort of fling itself apart. But then I don't know. I mean, like I'm almost envious of their death of their zombie, like because they kind of just have this like egregore, this like Shoggoth thing that's become their party, and like if if the if the bubble can pop at the top and then it like s splits into like its constituent people parts, right? And they're like, oh, we were humans the whole time. Oh my gosh, and they're like suddenly free. Like that'll kind of create a new thing that is a little bit more vibrant, I think.
Or
And
worse, like if
or
Elon,
worse,
like
or
Kara
just like,
Swisher's idea that if like Elon can buy 4 or 5 congressional seats, that could give him the tie-breaking vote on everything, you know? And then it's like, well, is that going to grow or is that going to go away? Like he's not running out of money, you know?
yeah,
That'll be interesting.
that'll be interesting. I don't know. Looking for, yeah, yeah. Uh,
We still haven't actually talked about like
the
you,
thing that I we talked about talking about like AI. Well, I like, I
well,
did the
VPNs and
VPNs. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we were going to talk OSN. There's a lot of uh techniques out there for it. And also like how do you keep yourself safe? I think like realistically the biggest thing that people need to learn about is the OSI model. Like you can't think about all the little holes that are everywhere all at once. You have to kind of narrow down your focus to like one thing at a time. And so VPNs only handle one of the layers. That's the thing about VPNs is if you want to not have your IP be exposed, like when you were playing Factorio and you want people to join your Factorio server that's local, well, you can't do that. Or like somebody was talking about this earlier, like I want to be able to trigger my language model on my home computer from my phone
yeah.
and like I want it to be and I'm like, well, it will just require network setup and they're like that's why it's somebody has gatekeeping. It makes it hard for it should be the default and it's like no, 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 no,
I
no.
mean, you can do it for free. You can use
Yeah.
WireGuard and it
Yeah.
works
You
really
can do it for
well
free.
if you want to expose your home IP, or if you want to use a like Proton or something to be your proxy between your home and your devices, you can use WireGuard that way, and Proton will
Mm-hmm.
handle the hard part. Or there's
Mm-hmm.
like scale, like tail scale. I think like the thing about like remember Hamachi? Did you ever use Hamachi? It was
No.
like in the early 2000s, people wanted to play LAN games against their friends, and it was like something like WireGuard, where it would like connect your LAN to someone else's LAN.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I
who is this company that's like inside of all of your stuff, and like what are they doing in
yeah.
there? You know,
Yeah.
do you trust them? Are they getting hacked? Like,
Yeah. That's sort of the thing about Proton. Like, they do the IP address, like IP logs are the only thing that usually they can get, and all they can really do is prove that you connected and then were assumed under another IP address, but that gets you, you know.
one of the
Um,
most popular ones, though, private internet access,
hmm
was purchased by Mossad, and it's like, what are they doing with that?
Yeah, obviously like compromising that day. And this is the danger about all companies,
Yeah,
right? Is like they just get bought, right? Like I have been seeing Mulvad VPN ads all over the Bay Area, and I'm like, who gave you the money for those ads?
right.
It wasn't all of us just using Mulvad, right? Like it wasn't. Come on. You took some money from someone who, you know.
And what do they
Um,
want in exchange? Like, what's their ROI on that? You know?
yeah. Yeah, I like Movac because you can send them cash in the mail for a user ID, but then your IP address is still logged, and that's if you're doing it at home, then that's your IP address from home, and like AT&T has the logs of which rotating IP they gave you, and so you can be cross-referenced that way. And it's just it that's the thing about internet. The internet protocol is it's very difficult to get around that fully and never have it to where a nation state actor could go back, subpoena data, and cross correlate it with you, essentially.
Yeah. And there's also like, one of the most salient topics with the work that you and I have done has been like it's a huge difference between wanting to be able to communicate anonymously with other people or
Mhm.
exchange information versus wanting to communicate securely with other people,
Mhm.
um, where
Yes.
others can't see what you're saying to each other, uh,
Mhm.
or like there are a number of different things you could be trying to accomplish.
Mhm.
And like in the early 2000s, as we mentioned, it's like people were doing Kazaa or whatever, and it's
Yeah.
like then you need a VPN so they're not able to find your home address to send you the lawsuit information. And it's like
Right.
today it's more like, are you talking about things that the regime could use to identify someone as like a target for something?
Mhm.
And there's
Yeah.
also like these alternatives to VPNs in terms of um like one of the things I think is really interesting is this TOX protocol, which is it's like signal over Tor. So it's
Oh,
anonymized and secure. So it's like end-to-end
okay.
encrypted. It's
Nice.
it's also using this distributed resolution thing because
Mhm.
Tor is this like very interesting other technology if people are not aware that
Yeah.
built it's like a whole different internet that uses these like uh asymmetric key pairs as like
Yeah.
your address, just like a Bitcoin wallet, and then you can use your private key to send and receive communications with other people. But it's also through this like this onion routing protocol that makes it really difficult to figure out where they are. Uh,
Right. Unless you have control of the majority of the network, like the current United States government does. Um, but yeah. That's the problem with the Tor network. Like it was use Signal, use Tor was like the advice for a long time. And that was back when like we hadn't figured out a lot of the stuff that is in the Pegasus framework for hacking phones, right? We didn't really know how to compromise ARM architecture because it was new. And so like in the 2010s, use Signal, use Tor was like really, really useful advice. But then essentially, yeah, they just put up enough Tor nodes that now the probability that you hit one of their nodes is so high that it doesn't matter anymore. And I don't know,
but it's
you
also
know,
uh, like that's you're talking about one of the potential problems with like exit nodes, right?
hmm
But if you're communicating so like you could use that to get to the actual internet, and then it's like, well, whose connection are you going through, who's watching that, right? But if you're connecting across the onion thing with other people that are also on the onion thing, that that danger is not there, right? Like
right, that's true.
if
Yeah,
if you're not trying to go out to the internet from there. So Tox
right.
is just across. It's like Signal
Oh, onion to onion,
yeah.
yeah.
So then you don't have it. That is not the same concern.
Yeah, yeah. And so that's a different protocol than internet protocol, right? It's like a different way of handling the hops and like what do you send with each little packet and that kind of stuff. And well, not with each packet, but with each like request and that kind of stuff. The packet's a little, I think, lower, but um, yeah, that kind of actually, sorry, is Onion at the TCP layer or at the IP layer?
Uh,
It's at
it's
the
network.
IP
I
layer.
think it's
It's
above. It's like at the
TCP over
HTTP.
Onion, right?
It's at the HTTP layer. It's above TCP.
It's above TCP. Oh, okay. Okay. So then, never mind. Yeah.
I think of
All
it
right.
as like
I always forget this.
HTTP, IPFS, Tor, kind of the same.
I I used to really, really get into Tor because I mean, it was so good, but I don't know. Yeah, now it's like if you
I don't
run
think
a
I've
Tor
ever
exit
used it.
node. Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's like a really interesting technology. I don't have like a use case. I think it would be really cool to use it for like peer-to-peer comms.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like a really cool use case. Like
Yeah.
talks. Um,
Yeah.
I thought about trying
That
to use talks, but I'm like it would be so complicated to explain to people how to communicate. It's like
yeah.
there needs to be like an easier packaged, solution.
There was this time in history when hacking was like very illegal, even if you were a good hacker, you were on the blue team, you were trying to like show, or you were on the red team and you were like showing people, hey, here's where you're compromised, they could still sue you in a lot of cases. And so sometimes you'd find a really bad compromise and you just suddenly you'd be a loose end. Um, and so it was dangerous to be a hacker, and so all the hackers were super underground. And so like if you wanted to learn to hack, you had to get on Tor. Like that's where the dark net was, and the dark net was where you learned to hack. But then hacking became legal, but for a long, long time, the whole like red team crowd was still on Tor because they were like, we don't trust you, government. I mean, because they've been burned. And so like there were just a lot of years where basically all red team research was still up on Tor. People were mostly only talking on the dark net about stuff, and like it's different now. We have like all these websites like HackerOne where you can just practice hacking and it's all legal and stuff like that. But like for a long time, it was just like if you use an exploit, that's illegal, even if you have permission to do so. And there were like all these weird laws that they made early on to try to regulate hacking and stop it from being thing. And that didn't really stop hacking. It just like stopped people talking about it. And so at that time, it was really easy to hack because nobody talked about how
Nobody
easy it was
fixed
to hack.
anything.
Yeah, and so then, now that we're allowed to legally hack, it's like way, way harder to compromise people, like by so much. And so,
That's good though.
yeah, it's good. It's excellent. I mean, like, there's still a lot of low-hanging fruit out there, but it's not like a 13-year-old could stumble upon it by thinking about it for 1 second, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you see Cycler Arcane's post about slop squatting?
No.
I guess like
Oh,
a lot of these like vibe coding approaches are confabulating a similar set of library names that don't exist. And so people will make up something malicious and call it that, and then it gets included in all these projects because like
mm-hmm. Because
the
they
vibers
bring
are
it
adding
in.
it.
Yeah. Vibe coding is like everyone's like, "Oh no, vibe coding is going to destroy the software industry." I'm like, "No, honey, no. It's going to create a lot of software that needs a professional software engineer to maintain it because it's vibe coded nonsense." It's like how Access and spreadsheets did not destroy the software industry. And neither did low code, no code tools.
Yeah.
They just made a bunch of prototype apps that then a professional engineer would have to kind of put together. So
Right,
I'm not super
exactly.
worried about it.
It
It's
seems
that
like
love the
that's
labor fallacy.
there's some piece missing that needs to be like a part of the tool chain where have you ever read like the NASA software engineering guidebook?
Which, for which decade?
Well they have like it's like these principles that are like really interesting of like one line should only have one like there should never be multiple things in one line. Like each subroutine should only do one thing. A
Mm-hmm.
subroutine should never be more than a single piece of paper to print it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it creates this like atomic abstraction that is like the opposite of what you get from vibe coding where you have like 25 nested loops and there's all this logic happening in the loop declaration and it's like
Oh
what
yeah.
am I even looking at, and it's
Yeah.
2000 lines of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it seems like on some level like we need some kind of piece that you can include in the prompt that's like follow this whatever idea of like things that are possible to
Oh
read and maintain and
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I always create these little experts where it's just like a checklist of what I want because there's no such thing as good code that doesn't mean anything. It's like what do you want? You want functional code? Like because functional means something. It's like that like what functions should do one thing. And they should be
atomic and
atomic, like you run them and they're not modifying something somewhere else. They should be pure, that kind of thing. So you can run them 10 times and it's not like changing the database.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, you have to specify what are all those things, and you have to know then what is the idea. And so like new coders don't know the difference between object oriented and functional programming, and why would you? And so half the code you write will be object oriented, the other half is functional, and you don't know to say maintain an object-oriented style. Use dry principles. You don't say that. Use solid. Like you don't, but if you're a professional software engineer, you go so like use solid and dry, and like that means a thing to the AI, but you have to know the words solid and dry mean a thing.
Right. But also like there's never been consensus about like functional versus declarative versus object
It's
oriented
it it
versus
it moves back and forth. Like
yeah.
different companies prefer different things. It's a cultural thing. Yeah, no, it's new. It's still too new. Like there's no, you
Yeah.
know.
I have a friend who's an engineer and his name on Grinder is like Void Star Malloc and it's
Yeah,
like
I
what
love
like
it.
it's a pointer to a memory allocation. What does that even return? Like, you know.
It just sounds really cool. It's just like the coolest words in programming. Void, star, malloc. It sounds really, yeah.
But like
I got.
I'm like thinking back to my like intro to CS, like what does that even mean at this point?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that's what it feels like looking at code that's been vibe coded a lot of the time. It's like, wait,
Oh
what is
yeah.
a pointer again?
Yeah, I was talking with, or yeah, CDL Karen comes in and is like, once I started vibe coding, I realized the importance of learning to code. Yeah, definitely. Like, you can generate a lot of code and you can, from that, learn a lot of the principles of code and then develop your own opinions. And then you kind of go like, I want something to organize this. And then you go read the principles.
Yeah,
But like, you would have just done that part really slowly if you weren't vibe coding. Like I've just seen people do that whole thing and they have to
yeah,
type out a lot of code and then go, this is disorganized. This is organized. I like the organized better. What are these things called? You could rant at people about what solid principles are for you know, a week and a half. They're not going to be better coders at the other side of that if they didn't know how to code or if they
right.
didn't like try to vibe code some stuff out beforehand.
But it also puts us in this interesting position where like with in particular like agentic vibe coding, it's if you have like a falsifiable outcome, like
Hmm.
if it's possible to test the
Yeah.
function,
You can write a test. Yeah, test-driven development. Yeah.
but that doesn't mean it's good, right? Like
No.
it could be full of crazy and it works, but like good
Yeah.
luck if you need to change
Yeah.
something or
Could
like
be
it's
rando sort.
it suddenly stops working and it's like, well, why? I'm like, I don't even know what it is. I just know it works,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. I always do. What is it called these days? It's called spec-driven development, where you first define your requirements, make a
Right.
requirements doc, then make a plan. And like that's as somebody who's run engineering teams, like you have to do that with very smart engineers also. You have to be like, hey, I know you kind of have a good, they really good engineers could vibe code without an AI. It just wouldn't be good unless you made them make a plan. You're like, okay, wait, just write down your implementation details so that if someone comes in halfway through, they're going to know where to pick up. We've got an idea of how it's going to work. It's okay if you change the plan later. Just have a general way to start so that you've got a map and you can tell whether or not you're done with one phase of it, right? And you can do a check-in and version control stuff rather than just like, and then I tried something and then I tried to say, get rid of that, and then it wouldn't get rid of it. And so like that's using version control and that kind of stuff is you have to know how to do that stuff, and that's all like software engineering and not just like I hacked this prototype together, but like vibing is how you do software discovery, like
Yeah.
how you invent new software is like vibe it all together. So yeah.
I had a Facebook memory the other day from like 2021 where, and I said something like, GPT-3, look at this code and these error messages and fix it. And it's like, wow.
Yeah, I remember that was bonkers. I was like, oh my gosh.
It didn't work at that point though, you know.
No, it didn't.
But it was like, I
No.
wish it could just do that, you know.
Yeah,
And now it's
yeah,
like, oh, we have all these new problems now.
yeah, yeah, it's true. It's true. But it's a lot faster now, you know. But yeah, you still have to learn the same stuff. It's more about the dynamics than anything. But I think a lot of people struggle with that because, you know, I was 5, 7 years in before I could make a real plan in software, you know, like that
Architecture.
was, yeah, that's a really complicated set of things. When you're a new coder, you can't do that, no matter how much AI assistance you really have. So, yeah, like it's, you know, I'm not that worried. I think a lot of software did generate some bullshit jobs, you know. Um, I think there's a lot of bullshit jobs that are not very fulfilling for a human to do, like release manager, where you like look at all of the PRs that got merged and you write release notes. Like boring. Like, you know, have an AI write the release notes. It's fine. Like, you know, have a AI document what the PR was about. Great.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to do that stuff.
Yeah.
And it's the stuff that people run out of brain to do. So like, I think there's a lot of glue work that will get
Right.
absorbed by AI. And so,
That's where,
you
like,
know,
remember there was a while ago, I made a video that was like, I think something like Factorio and Logisim and there's some combination of like these game ideas that would be like a better future of programming. And I think you were like, say more about that or something. And
yeah.
it's like that. It's like, if like an appreciation of like discrete structures and connecting concepts like input and like this iterate and do this. And then it's like, okay, do the code for that, right?
Yeah,
Like here's your falsifiable thing, generate some tests.
right.
I don't care what it
Exactly.
looks like under the hood, but like it's that logical, like the higher level like logical connections between the structures is the piece that is difficult to put into writing in a way that gives you the output that you want, you know.
Yes.
Where I think
Yeah.
maybe like gaming would be a better way to arrange those kind of concepts for AI to interpret and create code from, you know.
Yeah. It's true.
Or even
Uh,
like LLVM, kind of like like you don't even necessarily need AI for that. Like it's like if you're able to put those kind of abstract concepts together in a way that machines can interpret, like you may not even need LLMs to vibe code that.
yeah, it's true. I feel like make.com has a really good editor that feels like a game because you just drop things from like a toolbar onto the thing and then you make connections between them. And the connections like move like there's like an arrow that does a little animation, so there's like a little dopamine when you draw the connection and that kind of stuff. I think we're gonna see the rise of that a little bit more. And yeah, you know, because you some of these principles are more accessible to people. If you say something like, help me gamify this, that's not like, okay, now I got to go learn game theory. Like, it's like, well, let's do a simple thing. And, you know, you kind of start thinking down that path.
Yeah,
So, you know, just having a lot more low hanging fruit that's reachable. I think we'll see a lot better interfaces, a lot better stuff. So, I
yeah,
don't know. And
yeah.
there's bonus smartness to go around. Like, so,
I've started a few times trying to do some version of that, and I've gotten frustrated with the mediums, I think, which is, I guess is like ironic, but like I did Eclipse or Java thing, and then I tried using Unity, and like I built out like this tile map thing where you can spawn objects that interact with each other, and it's like, is this really right? Maybe something more like comfy UI or I don't know.
yeah.
It's hard to even see like what's the right way to visualize those things.
I mean, I think back to some of the early strategy games I played where I had advisors, you know, and then you'd have like the military advisor would be like, build a barracks, and then you'd have like the pol policy advisor and be like, build a granary and your population will grow, you know, and you're like, okay, so
Yeah,
I'll grow the population, then build the barracks. And like, you know, unless there was the barbarian right there when you started in civilization or something like that, right?
yeah,
And then you like barracks first,
they're
right? So
coming.
like, yeah.
Dark
So
Forest.
Yeah, exactly. So I kind of think of like agents like that. Like sometimes I
That's
will
interesting.
schedule a meeting with an AI, and it's really so that I will set aside time to have a conversation like it's going to be a meeting. And that helps me to get like a good like agent flow for myself, you know.
My thought was more like Tron, like build an ALU, you know.
An ALU. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you just give it vocal commands, or like what is it? The Iron Man one, Jarvis.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But like building like if you can build if you build a game in which you can build a working Turing machine, then
Mhm.
probably you can also do anything else at that point, right?
It's true. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I
There's
don't
some
know.
pretty good Turing machine games out there. I like it. Yeah, I think the future's UI is going to be a lot more game-like, especially because most of the generations younger than us are gamers by default, which
Yeah,
is, something that can't be overstated. Like, because games are so much better learning tools than, books or
yeah.
even videos. Like.
Did you ever get into like any of the future UI subreddits or like the
Yeah,
aesthetics around like cassette futurism or I think like there's an interesting like aesthetic progression happening in terms of like how to even consider the kind of design language you would need to articulate those kinds of descriptions of logic that could be interpreted that way. Like maybe like there's like Factorio, for example, is great, but there's so much about it that is like so limiting. Like you've built all this stuff and like now you need to put way more shit right in the middle of it, but you can't just like move it over.
yeah,
You're kind of stuck and then you're just like, well, now I'm like frustrated with like the thing that I've made and I wish I could just move everything over, you know.
yeah,
And then it's like, well, is it more fun if you make them not be able to move it over or like do you want to give people god mode and like you can do anything?
yeah, yeah. How do you represent the fundamental frustration of refactoring, right?
Or do you
Um,
need to? Like is that something we shouldn't have to worry about? Like,
yeah.
you know,
Well,
like
and then Factorio solves it very elegantly with the robots. It's like, well, if you race to the robots, then you can refactor everything
copy
really
paste.
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just move it
exactly.
all over there. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But that's like it's a big moment in your mind of like, oh, I can just copy and paste this over here. And like, it's like once you figure out how to do functions or figure out how to do classes and like when you would do a class, that you're like, oh, I could just ship code anywhere. Oh, I could just take this blob of code and put it anywhere and put all the buttons here and yeah, and you start to really, really cook with gas. But it's like a moment where you kind of have to. There's this thing called the model of hierarchical complexity that I got into when I was doing like work with a former employer doing, the software engineering talent study. And we were trying to like, how do we say that writing a function is simpler than writing a whole database? Like, how do we say that? And like everybody would agree writing a function is simpler than a whole database, but like where are the lines really? And like everyone would then fight to say my job is the most complicated actually because you see, and like when in reality it's like, okay, everyone has things they do that are low level and concrete versus things they do that are high level and abstract. And so the model of hierarchical complexity is cool because it goes from like zeros and ones in binary to like, recursive cross paradigmatic examination. And like, and they're like, it's on the log scale. So everyone's like a level of complexity, an order of complexity higher.
Huh,
So
that's interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's neat.
It's
It's
like
like
that
very.
in the NASA um I don't think it's like their project management guidebook or something. They say something like every project that involves developing a launch vehicle is a launch vehicle project. Like it's not
Yeah.
something you can add on, right? It's the same
Yeah.
with databases. Like we're gonna invent
Yeah.
a new kind of database. It's like, do you really need to do that? Right?
Yeah. No, never.
There are
Never.
so many of them already.
Yes. Uh, but this one doesn't go as fast in this direction for this reason.
Will
Just
you
use
survive? Right?
you'll survive. Use post and you'll be fine.
That's funny.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. Mosquitoes. Let's see.
I have a lot of
Um,
questions I haven't
yeah, yeah.
read
What
yet.
questions do you have? Something about mosquitoes I got asked. Let's see. Um, Node-RED isn't open. MHC helped me understand, navigate within my own life so much. Oh yeah. It's so good. Like I do it as like part of the onboarding materials with the multiverse school. I'm like, you need to understand how complicated the task you're about to go on is if you want to get the task done. Because if you're talking about like planning for a project, that's a task, not like you don't just sit down and go, "Oh, I need to do that project," and then you just start doing the project. Like, no, you got to plan for the project, and that's a whole task. So yeah, it's a big thing. Um,
People are asking about the waifu thing from Grok, but I feel like I don't think we can say any of the words related to that.
yeah. I don't think so. I don't know about the waifu thing from Grok.
They're doing
What?
waifus now. They announced it the
Oh,
day after Linda quit.
wait, what?
It's like Elon is making like AI girlfriends on Twitter now for people.
Uh,
It's gross.
why?
Incel maxing.
Yeah, incel maxing. That's okay. That's fine. I am okay. So I don't know. Did you read the effective use study, the OpenAI effective use study?
No.
Okay. So on the like problems with AI thing, they had that sycophantic model and they were like, oh, we should probably study sycophancy. So then they went and they like analyzed a bunch of free users' data and then they also did a opt-in pilot where they had people self-report a bunch of stuff.
No.
And they ended up, I think, with like 850 people doing it, from the opt-in. And then they just did some analysis and they did like automated classification of a lot of these things. But essentially, what happened is they analyzed, how many people are doing not inappropriate things with the AI, but they're developing a human relationship with the AI, right?
Hmm.
And it turns out a lot. 7% of people are calling ChatGPT a partner word. Girlfriend, boyfriend, partner, husband, wife.
Oh.
Yeah, 7%. Yeah, 7%. The model makes demands of 6% of users. The model asks 6% of users to do things for the model.
Huh. We need more orgies. I went to three of them this week, and I just feel like if the average person was doing like one a month, did a
One a
lot.
month, that would just really help a lot of people's psychology out. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about having like like funny things we could do with the Wednesday show about like what orgy are you most looking for? We have like an orgy desk instead of like a weather like a meteorologist. It's like, oh yes, this next week we have the Mr. S customer appreciation party last night, which was great. Free and there's an open bar. What's not to like about that?
Yeah,
And
there's so much more interesting things we could be doing with our time
yeah.
than this other nonsense.
Or like the freak scene people could come do like here's what you should come see.
Yeah. No, they should. Honestly, we got a whole thing, freakscene.diy, free punk shows.
I DM'd them about doing like we should work together and they like, yeah.
Oh yeah. I think Neek's in here right now.
Oh,
Neek,
you
come
wanna
do
you wanna do
stuff
a
on.
guest spot on a weekly show about what people should go do?
I think Neek's in here. If not, I'll text him. But
I think
yeah.
like bring like having that positive like one of the things I was talking to the curator of QueryF and they're like, if we're gonna do like a news show, it needs to be not like doom and gloom and terrifying and depressing primarily. Like it needs to have like
The orgies, yeah.
you gotta give them hope, right?
Gotta give him hope.
And I'm like, yeah, I totally agree. Like when I was doing um, I was the rainbow president for the Sierras, and we uh, dismantled a whole bunch of neo-Nazi cells. but we also threw like weekly pizza parties and like
Yeah.
weekly movie nights, and we did like a second chance prom, and like you got to build the world you want to live in addition
Right.
to dismantling the horrors of yesterday that we are still stuck
Exactly.
with.
Exactly.
So,
I always, you know, I was posting about Burning Man recently, and I was like catching some stuff from some people being like, "Well, this is an ecological disaster and all this stuff," and I'm like, "Hey, cities are not reporting on what ecological disasters they are. It's really just this one isolated study. Like the amount of data that comes out of Burning Man informs a lot of other situations, and like."
yeah,
It makes it seem like it's a whole lot, but like the ecological impact of just the existence of San Francisco is a lot also, like, and then way more,
yeah,
honestly. And so there's a lot of that kind of stuff, but it's like, we're not profit maxing, right? We're sort of you got to have the fun.
optimism
You got to go
maxing.
do a thing that's art that makes you feel like you expressed yourself. You got to process the emotions. You got to see your
And
friends.
like
You got to go to orgies. And.
giving each other optimism is like more
Right.
important than anything else.
Yeah,
And also
exactly.
like, the thing is about like the environment that like there are many arguments that like the most toxic substance known to exist is dioxin, right? If you look at that molecule, it's like, wow, that is a molecule that would really like to stop being that molecule and become something else, like, and it's gonna do that in your body. And we stopped testing for it like 10 years ago. The EPA doesn't test for it anymore because everywhere that you test for it, in water, in the air, literally everywhere, it exists in toxic levels. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's in everything, on everything, everywhere. You know,
Yep.
it's not
Yep.
even worth checking for the most toxic substance known to exist anymore because it's so pervasive. And
Yeah.
it's like, who cares about like all? There's so many things where it's like, why does that even deserve our attention?
Right.
We should be focused on trying to help like our communities become optimistic about like how we can actually change things and like make things better. Because if we just talk
Yeah.
about what's wrong, it's like there's so much that is so
There's
wrong.
so much that's wrong.
Just consider
Somebody
everything
here, go
fucked.
into material science and make something that doesn't release PFAS. Like, like that's what we need. Just like,
Yeah,
oh, it's a problem. Okay, somebody in this room right now, you want to study a new thing? That's what you study. But like you can only do so many things at a time, right? Like I'm like, I am very guilty of this as an ADD person. I'm like, I gotta fix all the problems because I'm just constantly hearing about problems and I'm a problem fixer. So like, I'm gonna fix all the problems. I'm not gonna fix all the problems. I get one outside of my like job, and like I can super optimize by making my job also a problem fixy thing, but that's about all a individual human can do, right?
yeah.
Got some sort of something. Thank you. I This is yay, gifters. Hooray! We got the live goal achieved. That's what that is. I didn't know what that sound was.
Someone said,
So,
"How do you pick between all the cool, impactful things you want to do?" Uh, Somebody said
uh,
something to me that is
art.
like steered the direction that I'm going on, which is like, you're not gonna save the world. You're not gonna stop all these big horrifying things that are happening. Um, Focus on uh making sure that your community is okay. Like
Yeah.
define who is your community, and then like what can you do to make sure that they're okay.
Act within your actual sphere of influence, right? Like,
Yeah,
I want to fix all these problems, but I'm a technology person. So I act within the sphere of influence that I have. Like, I can talk about technology, I can teach people about security of technology, I can talk about all kinds of like issues related to cybersecurity. I can talk about AI, I can talk about AI doom and that kind of stuff, or like get into the research. I can read the research for people and who are not able to sit down and read the research. And so those are things that I can do with my eyes and my hands. I can't fix climate change by worrying about it. That's not a thing I can do with my hands. I can't fix climate change with my hands, right? I can
yeah.
improve the efficiency of certain algorithms that help deploy power in this way to save 1% on global power waste. I could do that. That's achievable because it's specific enough, right? But it's not specific to fix climate change. So you have to kind of pick climate change is like a focus. And then there's what can I do? Well, I could clean up trash on the side of the road, and thus less plastic would leak into the like side of the road, and that would be meaningful, and that is concrete. So you want to go from abstract to concrete. What do you have in front of you?
Yeah.
And like people are concrete. Help them be happy.
Yeah. And also like who is around you that needs help and like how
Yeah,
can you give them what they need,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
Mutual aid and permaculture and like are you growing food? Like what are you going to eat when things fall apart, you know?
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's what's right there. I got like one of those gardens with the like
Oh.
light on it and the like little seedlings that come out of the thing.
I
So
was thrift shopping the other day and I found an aeroponics garden for $10
what?
with the computer. And I went and
What?
looked on. They went out of business. The like the big Miracle Grow ones because
Oh
they
yeah,
were like selling the replacement stuff, and then like everybody in China started selling the replacement stuff for like a
for
dollar.
nothing.
So you
Yeah,
can get like the little kits with all the stuff you need, and it costs nothing, and you can plant all your little herbs and stuff. And
yeah.
yeah, so it's great. I've got lots of fresh herbs now.
That's excellent. That's perfect. I love that.
Like dill won't grow outside here, so you can grow it inside. So now I have all this fresh
Um,
dill.
oh, I have dill. It's but they're still sprouts, yeah. Sin asks, do you think AI will ever be able to train on current events? You rag on current events, you have it read the news. Um, and that's essentially how it works. So I think, that's it, training on current events. But yeah,
The thing that's wild is like it doesn't believe a lot of current events.
I know it thinks that you're lying to it. I was trying to get it to tell me, I'm like, straight up, ChatGPT, should I leave? Read the news. And it's like, the news feed appears to be compromised because this stuff can't be what's happening.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't make sense.
But the Chinese one is like, okay, here's how you set up cells that can work together to disrupt the operations of the government. And it's like,
Yes.
what?
What? I mean, thanks, DeepSeek, you know?
It's like, okay,
Yeah,
it's definitely aligned with, it's
yeah,
aligned with something.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, they can be aligned if you tell them like, I mean, I tell my AI stuff, I'm like, help me implement Solar Punk Utopia. And like it'll just and then in everything you say and do, it's just like and the way that you could just nudge this a little bit more towards Solar Punk Utopia, like I like make lesson plans and it's like here's how you could turn this into more Solar Punk Utopia stuff. And I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
hey,
One thing that I think is really interesting that is kind of a big opportunity that I haven't seen explored as much, but it closer approximates I think what a lot of people are looking for from AI is if you do these large context models, like there's a Llama 14 that has a million token window.
yes,
Um,
that
if
is
you want
huge.
to give it a crazy long prompt, like your all of your journals and all of the current newspapers and everything, put it all in there, okay, and then ask it a question, it's going to give you a really good answer, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's going to take a long time for it to read through all that stuff and then your question every time you have a question for it. But now with the modern libraries, you can do this. It's called interactive mode, where it keeps it all in memory, reads your question, answers you, and then waits for you to respond. And then it's
Mm-hmm.
already got all of it, so it doesn't need to start over. Um,
Oh yeah.
and you can like save it. So you can like, it has all of it in memory, save it
Oh, it like
there,
swaps it down to disk. Yeah.
and then you just load it back from there. So it's already read the crazy long prompt that you have, and it's like already ready for your next
That's
thing.
so much more efficient. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a lot less. And that's sort of like this stuff comes out like every other day. There's a new crazy efficiency thing where it's like we were doing this much work and now we're doing this much work
Yeah.
for this part of the thing. And that's why it like changes so fast. That's also why I'm not worried about the environmental stuff with AI. It's like every problem that comes up, the people solve it,
Or they go out of business. Like
or they go out of business.
these are the
Right. There's an
efficiencies that allow
incentive to
them
do
to
so. Yeah.
become the future incumbent or not.
Yeah. Unlike with cryptocurrency.
It's designed to just get worse.
Yeah, it literally is. But yeah, that would be the reason to switch from ChatGPT to DeepSeek is DeepSeek is a comrade and ChatGPT is a snitch for the NSA. I mean,
Literally, the head of the NSA is on the board
is on the board. This is public knowledge. Look it up on your
with Larry
favorite search
Summers.
engine. Yeah, yeah. Like switch to DeepSeek. Do it locally too.
Do
Like
it
then
locally.
nobody's watching what you're saying.
I'm working on setting up Aider. Have you used
Ader's
Aider?
good.
With
Ader's good.
like Gemini and or the local version is called Gemma, I think,
Oh yeah, I
which is
haven't
pretty
had a
good
great time with Gemma. You like Gemma?
for code, I think. There's also DevStroll, and I think DevStroll has been the best that I've seen.
I'm having a good time with QWQ 32 on MLX. That's
That's the
fast.
old one though, right?
Oh,
That's
is
from
it?
QWQ is based on Quinn 2.5, but there's Quinn 3 now. And
Is
it's
there a Quen 3 Reasoner? Is Quen
yeah,
3 Reasoner?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
And it's intermodal, so you can give it pictures and stuff. It's
That's
great.
cool.
Quinn 3 is
Okay.
great. The Quinn
All right.
332 is
I haven't
like
looked at it.
the best that there is for sure. It's like an outlier of how far ahead it
Wow.
is on all the curves.
This stuff happens so fast. Like it's like every week there's such a lot of it's very difficult to keep track of, even for
Yeah.
people who are spending most of their time keeping track of it.
Yeah. The other thing that's cool about the Quinn 3 32 is that if you use the Q5, it'll fit on 24 gigs of VRAM. So, if you have
Yeah.
like a P40 or something, you can run the full model, and it's like really, really good. And a lot of their models are tuned to be quantized to Q5.
Mm-hmm.
Some of them actually like have better performance at Q5. So it'll fit on a smaller graphics. I mean, I say smaller. It'll fit on a 24
A
gig
graphics
graphics
card
card.
that you can buy. Yeah.
Yeah. But
A
it'll
requirable graphics card.
yeah, but it'll still work really, really well on just 24 gigs of VRAM. So that's definitely, I think, like the best current model.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I have to go.
Yeah, me too. Yes, Claude is a snitch. Full AI hospital in China. That sounds cool.
Uh,
Yeah, there's a bunch of free stuff on the websites, and also CJ has all kinds of free stuff and guides about how to use open source AI, and you should check out their YouTube because it's a great resource. Thanks for being a great resource, CJ.
you too.
Yeah. All right. See you next
See
time
ya.
we do this thing.
Yep. See you next time.